Happy Gatemen game day, everyone. Getting you set for YD at Wareham here on the Gatemen pregame show with Josh Richardson. I'm Cory Miller. Josh, the 2-1 win last night for the Gatemen over the Whitecaps to snap the three-game skid, but things only get tougher for them tonight against the top team in the league, the Red Sox.
Yeah, YD 8-2-1 so far this season, but the good news for Wareham is one of those two losses came to the Gatemen, so you know that you can beat this team before it's the third matchup. YD and Wareham have split the first two, but everything really has to come together if you're going to win this one.
You said it, the Red Sox top two in the league in average and then top of the league in ERA and opponent's batting average, so everything is clicking for the Red Sox. The good news for the Gatemen is they've had the offense the two prior games to last night, and then the pitching really found its groove again last night.
Well, the pitching found its groove. Daniel Powell had a really nice start, and then everyone out of the bullpen followed up in very strong suit. Galley, Calera, everybody did a fantastic job. So now you have to balance that all out. Chris McHugh had his second home run of the season yesterday. Get the bats going, get the pitching going. Chase Richter on the mound today. He's been one of the best guys in the Cape so far this season. You got to get everything to come together if you're going to beat this Red Sox team.
The Gatemen going for their second straight win, second against the Red Sox, but first for more on tonight's matchup, we'll send it over to Rayna Maggelet.
Rayna Maggelet joins alongside Wareham Gatemen infielder Chris McHugh. So Chris, last night you went 2 for 4. You had a solo home run, your second of the season. What mentality do you have going up to the plate?
Yeah, I mean, early on, only my third game. I'm still trying to get, to the swing of things, with all these good pitchers. So I'm just trying to swing early in the count, try not to get to 2 strikes too often because I'm still seeing pitches. But I got a pitch to hit good last night, and, I made my best swing on it.
What adjustments do you make when facing different pitchers up on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, it's always new pitchers almost every other inning, so just getting the scouting reports from our guys and, talking helps a lot, going in there with, knowing what we're going to get.
Thank you so much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Rayna, thank you. The Red Sox and the Gatemen score off tonight at 6 p.m. We'll see you then. Third meeting of the summer between the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox and the Wareham Gatemen. These two squads split the first two meetings. 3-2, Wareham took it against YD on the 17th. 13-7, the Red Sox over the Gatemen. 13-7 back on June 24th, the third meeting of the summer. The Red Sox, not only the hottest team across the Cape, they sit at 8-2-1, the best team as well. As we welcome you back to Spillane Field, Josh Richardson, Cory Miller here with you for tonight's action. Part of what makes tonight's matchup so intriguing is you have the two starters, the only two starters across the Cape, who have yet to allow an earned run so far this summer. And for the Gatemen, that man is Chase Richter.
I'll tell you what, Cory, Chase Richter has had a sensational start to his Cape League season. 9 2/3 innings. He's allowed just 5 hits, 10 total base runners against him, 3 hit batters, 2 walks, 14 strikeouts, and an under 160 batting average against. This is not a guy that you're going to, he's not a ground ball guy. He's going to strike you out. He's going to limit your number of chances on the base paths. This is the ace in this Gateman lineup, and he's going against a very good Red Sox team.
Richter has yet to pitch against YD this summer, but again, hasn't allowed a run. And in terms of facing a Red Sox lineup, he does have his work cut up for him. Starts with Braden Dowd at the top of the Red Sox lineup, leads things off in center field. Cody Miller, the second baseman, hits second. Chris Hakopian, familiar name in that 3 spot against the Gatemen this summer. DH is at third, Garrett Wright behind him at fourth, Gasaparino behind him at fifth, followed by Carreras, the shortstop, Bold, the catcher, Dean Carpentier, the first baseman, Jack Bell round things out for a Red Sox lineup that currently is in second in the league in average and runs scored.
Chris Hakopian had a big day against the Gatemen a few games ago. This entire Red Sox lineup is just producing at the right time. The pitching's good. The hitting is great. It's why they're on the win streak that they're on, 7 straight. The last loss that YD had was right here to the Gatemen, 3-2, Cory, like you said.
The first game, obviously, kind of more of that pitcher's duel defensive battle. Obviously, that was not the case in the 13-7 Red Sox win against the Gatemen this past week. A close contest throughout most of it, the game in which the Gatemen held a lead 2 separate occasions.
Yeah, it was 11-7 with, it was 9-7 in the 8th inning, and then a 4 spot from YD really, put the game out of reach. But it was close. It was back and forth. The Gatemen led at a couple points as well, but the Red Sox just kept having that answer, and eventually, it was definitely a marathon instead of a sprint, and they won the race.
In terms of the defense behind Richter on the mound, in the outfield left to right, first look at Andrew Kane making his Gateman debut. Out of Arizona, he's in left, Yost in center, Ritchie in right. Along the infield, Stripling, Randall, Turner, McHugh third to first, as Dowley goes to the DH spot, gets the night off in terms of fielding, and Levi Clark behind home plate doing the catching.
Yeah, Dowley, not someone that we've seen very often being used in that designated hitter spot, but Chris McHugh has been playing well offensively, get him a few more reps in the field. Andrew Kane, his debut. You got to fit in Colby Turner in the middle infield. There's a lot of guys that, Ryan Smythe can move around and can act as Swiss Army knives, but eventually, somebody has to be the odd one out. But you can't move Dowley's bat out of the lineup, but you can move him out of the field.
As Braden Dowd digs into the batter's box, hitting .242, a homer and two RBIs this summer. He's ready. Richter on the mound's ready. Kicks and fires on the first pitch tonight. A breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called strike one, and we're underway here at Spillane Field. Dowd led things off against the Gatemen in that 13-7 Red Sox win this past week. Had a productive day, 3 for 4, drove in a run. Really set the tone right away at the top of the order. That included a leadoff homer in the bottom of the first.
That was the first or second pitch of the game there from Logan Baisley. Just drilled it out into left center.
1-1 now. Gets another call on a breaking pitch, quickly 1-2. Lefty on lefty matchup. Now 1-2 from Richter. Fouled straight back.
Only had that one home run when these two teams played here at Spillane Field. The first time it was off the bat of Van Shayen, drilled over into left. 5 homers between the two squads when they played at Red Wilson a few days ago.
5 combined homers. Ball was flying in that game. That one is fisted into shallow center field. It falls in front of Yost. Dowd picks up right where he left off against the Gatemen, and he leads this game off with a base hit.
This is what killed the Gatemen in the loss to YD, a lot in the loss to Orleans. Gatemen led 5-0 in that game against the Firebirds, had a few leads against YD, and got a lot of batters to 2 strikes, but then couldn't capitalize on that put-away pitch. Guys started to reach. 2 strike rallies, 2 out rallies, they all started to happen. You got to be able to put away batters when you're ahead in counts.
Cody Miller, righty on lefty matchup, shows bunt as taking off for second was Dowd. They'll do it again. Dowd down to second on the stolen base. After Miller pulled back the bunt attempt, early runner in scoring position for the Red Sox. 5th stolen base of the summer for Braden Dowd. 1-0 the count. Dowd at .270, 2 homers, 9 RBIs. Getting the start at second base. That pitch is ripped up the middle. It's down for a base hit. Dowd held it third. Yost gets the ball in. Back-to-back singles. Open the contest for the Red Sox. They're in business early on.
Yeah, clearly the hitting is just... it's never letting up for YD. 2 quick hits against Richter. This guy, him and Brady Hamilton, who's pitching on the mound for the Red Sox, have been the 2 best pitchers in the Cape so far this summer. Neither of them have allowed a run. Now Richter's in danger of that here, just 90 feet away.
And Richter came in with that 0.00 ERA. Had started 2 games, pitched 9 2/3 innings, 2 walks, 14 strikeouts. First and third, no one out. And here's Hakopian lining one into right. It'll hang up for Richie, who makes the catch. Tagging from third is Dowd. The third of the plate is cut off, and the Red Sox strike first. There goes the scoreless stretch for Chase Richter. Gives up his first run of the summer. It's 1-0 YD.
Good swing there from Makopian. He knew what his job was. He had a guy on third, less than 2 outs. Could just drill something deep into the outfield, and that would get the job done. First pitch he saw that he thought he could do that. Sent it out into right field. Didn't have to do too much. Exactly what he needed to accomplish for YD, and now they're ahead early.
Came in at 8-2-1. Most recently a win over Katuitt last night. A 5-1 victory. And as you talked about, Josh, yeah, obviously the pitching's going to get a lot of attention for this YD squad, but the offense just as prolific. Top of the league in terms of hits, average, doubles, RBIs, home runs, all top 2, if not top 1. There's a drive into center field. It sends Yost back into the alley, makes the catch for out number 2, and retreating to first is Cody Miller.
Yeah, when you look at it all across the league, YD has that lowest ERA by a pretty hefty margin, 2.08. Brewster in second at 2.39. Wareham won a pitcher's duel yesterday against the Whitecaps 2-1. So Brewster still showcased that pitching ability. But when you look offensively, too, YD second in OPS, second in average, tied for first in home runs. Team just hits.
Now facing Gasparino. Runner on, 2 away. First pitch misses outside. Gasparino, one of the newer faces around YD. Hitting just .250 with an RBI in the early going for the Red Sox. Played this past season at Texas. Currently in the transfer portal, though. Big left fielder waits on the 1-0, which won't come as Richter fires over to first. After back-to-back singles to begin the first, Chase Richter's produced 2 fly ball outs, one of which drove in a run. There goes the runner for second. That one way high. Throw down is not going to be in time. Easy steal of second by Cody Miller.
Tough to gun a guy out when Richter's throwing the off speed. Definitely a good jump there over from first for Miller. With 2 outs and the runners going, anything that Gasparino can put in the outfield should be able to score him.
The .242 this past spring for the Longhorns. Struck out 30% of the time, though. The 2-0 pitch, low and outside, 3-0. Yomer Carreras waits on deck. With Richter taking his time on the mound, he'll pick up a pitch clock violation. An automatic ball 4. That sends Gasparino down to first.
Honestly, not the worst thing in the world. You fill the first base bag back up. Now you have 3 force outs. You're already behind in the count. You didn't want to give him anything to hit. You didn't have to waste a pitch either. Certainly far from the worst case scenario there for Chase Richter.
So now an opportunity for Yomar Carreras, a .267, no homers, 5 RBIs. For the Red Sox shortstop, runner takes off for third. Richter didn't see it. The pitch a called strike, dropped by Clark. Both runners advance via the stolen base, now both in scoring position.
Yeah, Miller timed it up. I mean, he was so far ahead of Richter, and you could hear just before Richter started his delivery to home that his infielders were telling him to, hey, step off and turn around, but by that point it was too late.
0-1 pitch to Carreras. And right now, obviously Richter an out away from getting out of this, but the way the last game ended, with the Red Sox plating 4 in the bottom of the 8th, the last time these two teams met, riding that win streak, scoring a run early on, threatening for more. The momentum between these two squads favors YD as that one's laced foul.
Carreras had 2 singles in that Red Sox win, 2 RBIs as well. No stranger to hitting when runners are in scoring position. That's why he's tagged in the middle of this lineup.
Richter's got him. 1-2 here. 2 away, 2 runners on. His pitch. Swing and a miss. Blocked by Clark. Will throw down to first on the money for out number 3. So the Red Sox leave 2 stranded, but not before they strike first. An early 1-0 lead. We've played half an inning here at Spillane Field. It's the Red Sox 1 and the Gatemen coming to bat on Cape League TV.
Law. Live, life, law. Covering all residential and commercial real estate matters. You live life to the fullest and let us Sync Law. That's synklaw.com. Sync with an I, not a Y. Be selfish. We represent only you.
Sports Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen Field. Go Gatemen.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Well, Chase Richter buckled for the first time this season in the top of the first, and now Brady Hamilton, again yet to allow an earned run this summer, getting his warm-up pitches on the mound. The rising senior at Wichita State, who's been just about flawless for YD this summer.
Well, he has been flawless, Cory. He also has not given up a run yet through 8 innings, just allowed 4 hits and struck out 8 batters. .75 whip. It's pretty good for the righty out of Wichita State. Gateman got to try and have the same luck against him that YD did against Richter.
For a squad in the Red Sox that leads the Cape in terms of whip, the lineup for Ryan Smythe's squad that will hope to do that starts with Braden Randall for Miller name at the top. Levi Clark, Ty Daly follow him. Batting fourth is Chris McHugh, the Colin Ritchie at 5th. In right field, Hayden Yost behind him, the center fielder. Hitting 7th, the second baseman Colby Turner. Andrew Kane in his Gateman debut hits 8th, the left fielder, and rounding things out is the third baseman Landon Stripling.
Yeah, Kane had 21 extra base hits and 22 RBIs this past season for Arizona. Excited to see him penciled into the bottom of this Gateman lineup. Braden Randall riding a 5-game hit streak now, so no surprise to see him at the top of this Gateman order.
The Wareham RBI leader was 1 for 3 with an RBI against YD in their last matchup. Average up to 300 with those 6 RBIs. He scored 5 runs. First pitch he sees, misses outside, ball 1. As we've talked about, that pitch misses inside with Randall. Really solidified his spot, it seems like, atop this Gateman order. The way he's come on as of late. We've seen him both at second base and shortstop, but what has remained consistent is his presence atop the order. 2-0 now, and it's quickly 3-0 after a pitch in the dirt.
Well, Cory, especially today, this Gateman lineup is very front-loaded. Braden Randall hitting 300, Clark 286, Daly 289, McHugh 273, and then after that it starts to fall below 200. But this is a point where if you can get those top guys on base, you can get the production from your 1 through 4, and then maybe, 1 or 2 of those guys, 5 through 9, can really capitalize, a particular AB against a particular pitcher. That can really set you up for success, during any game.
Randall on with a leadoff walk in the bottom of the first. The defense behind Brady Hamilton. Gasparino, Dowd, right, left to right. First pitch here to Levi Clark, swinging in a foul ball. Bell, Carreras, Miller, Carpentier, third to first, and Bold doing the catching for Hamilton on the mound. Levi Clark, who's typically been the number 3 hitter this summer, as Randall dies back safely. At 286, a homer and RBIs. Cooled off a little bit the past few games. But we've still seen some significant pop. Has juiced this lineup since he arrived from Tennessee. The 0-1 to him. In there for a called strike, too.
Yeah, regression to the mean is going to happen. He's still hitting 286. I can't expect he'll go, much lower than that, maybe into the mid to low 270s. But, I mean, this is one of the best Gatemen bats that Wareham has this summer. He's going to be at the top of this lineup all year.
Quickly 0-2. Randall takes off for second. The pitch misses inside, dropped by Bold, and an easy stolen base for Braden Randall. Feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, it's the same strategy. It's the same strategy, Cory. You get a guy into scoring position, you have him on the move. Now, of course, there were a couple more steals later in that inning, but Dowd stole that first base, and he came around to score.
That one got passed by Bold. The throw down to third, not in time. A little bit of hesitation maybe by Randall to take off for third with that pitch right off the backstop. And Bold initially didn't seem like he thought Randall was going to try and take third.
Yeah, there was a little bit of hesitation there from Randall to try and decide if he wanted to go or not. And, if he waited an extra half second, Bold would have had an easy pick out over at third. But throw was a little high, moved him over. Now the tying run just 90 feet away.
And how about this? Two pitchers who had not allowed a run coming into this game in their first two starts. Now all of a sudden, both of them in danger of buckling here in the first. 2-2 to Clark, rolled on the ground. Randall will come in to score. Carreras across the diamond completes the play. But just like that, the Gatemen have tied this game up at 1.
Again, same thing with the Hakopian at bat when he had Dowd on third. All you had to do was just hit something into the outfield. This time, Clark, a nice slow rolling ground ball over to short. Easy for the speedy Randall to score from third. And now it's tied back up. 0-0 game again. Here's Daly facing the shift.
Big swing at the first pitch, just gets a piece of it. At 289 with 4 doubles, 3 RBIs. 4-hit game for Ty Daly against YD last time out. And as we talked about making the transition from first base to DH, waiting on an 0-1. Make it 1-1 now. Obviously, he's played every single game for the Gatemen, so nice to get at least a partial day off. 1-1. Bounced on the ground to the left side. Bell, the lone infielder over there, throws on to first in time for out number 2.
He tried to go the other way with it, but just too far back up the middle. Waited a little bit longer on it. Maybe could have drilled it through that hole down the left field line, but quick second out. He likes to go the other way with it, especially when he's facing the shift. That's something that happened when YD and Wareham played a few days ago, and he said, I didn't see many pitches, but I got good swings on the ones that I did. I put them the other way. Ryan Smythe called him a team player for just being able to take it the other way.
McHugh now. And the count 2-0. Chris had 2 hits yesterday, including a home run. Biggest bat offensively in that 2-1 Wareham win over Brewster. 2-0, blasted way down the left field line, but well out of play. So the average quickly all of a sudden up for Chris McHugh, up to 273, 2 homers, 2 RBIs.
Yeah, slugging percentage might be a little skewed there, but
goes after that one, lifts a high fly ball. Right center field. That's Dowd over, making the catch for out number 3. The Gatemen tie this game up at 1. Braden Randall. A walk, stolen base, wild pitch, scores on the RBI ground out by Levi Clark. After the first inning, these squads trading runs. It's 1-1 after 1 on Cape League TV.
Finding a good personal injury attorney is very difficult. If you or a family member has been involved in an accident, hurt at work, suffered a slip and fall, or have been injured due to negligence of someone else, contact the lawyers at Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. They are experienced trial to practice in all of the courts in the Commonwealth. The firm has been recognized by Best Lawyers in America for outstanding legal representation. Contact Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP today. The firm is located at 267 Main Street in Wareham. Reedy, Kiernan, and McNally, LLP also has offices in New Bedford and Falmouth. Call 508-295-0286 or visit their website www.rkm-law.com.
These two aces allowing their first earned runs of the season. Richter and then Hamilton. First time either one has allowed an earned run this summer, which means we're tied up at 1 through the first inning of play. Jake Bold begins the top half of the second.
How ironic would it be, Corey, if these two guys just got shelled for how well they've been pitching through the first 2 games of the season? Everybody wanted that pitching duel, but
on paper, that's what we thought we were going to get as the catcher Bold takes outside, comes in hitting 300 for the Red Sox out of Princeton. The numbers certainly indicated as such. 1-0, breaking ball in there for a called strike, too. I mean, these two guys had combined to throw 17 2/3 scoreless innings, struck out 22, only issued 4 walks, and had just been all-around dominant in their first 2 starts of the summer. But again, the trend more recently, especially in that last matchup between these two squads, was the offenses reign supreme. 2-1 now. And it quickly goes to 3-1. Now, obviously, 2 different starting pitchers in that one.
Well, 2 different starting pitchers, but 2 different ballparks. It's a very small field over at Red Wilson. 375 to dead center. Not that far to left. Not that far to left and right either way.
Well, and that's the tough thing about the Red Sox. They're undefeated at home. Yeah, they've only dropped 2 games overall, but one of them being here at Spillane Field. Through 11 games, if you're going to want to top the Red Sox, chances are you're going to get a better chance to do so when they're on the road.
Yeah, they're 5-0 playing at Red Wilson.
Full count pitch now. Breaking ball stays high. Richter issues his second walk of the outing, a leadoff one, and Bold's on to begin the second.
But that's the thing, is it's easy to say, oh, well, they won because they hit a lot of home runs. They win at home because the field's small and they, have the bats to drill everything out into the outfield. But they can also work at bats very well, near the top of the league in on-base percentage, upwards of 340 as a team total.
First pitch here to Dean Carpentier. This is on the inner part of the plate.
You win games by getting on base. You win games by pitching well. And they have the lowest ERA in the league and one of the top on-base percentages also. So, it's an incredible combination through the early part of the season.
1-0 pitch, getting under that one, producing a high fly ball into center. This is Dean Carpentier. Right in his tracks is Hayden Yost. Makes the catch for out number 1. Well, and that's why we talked about it was a welcome sight to see the Wareham pitching get back on track last night against Brewster, because the offense had been on a roll. Obviously, only the 2 runs last night, in large part because of Chris McHugh. But you're going to need both the pitching and the offense, more likely than not, if you want to come away with a win against YD tonight.
You have to just stack everything. You have to make sure every game and every win has to be a building block. And when you don't win games, just because you lose them doesn't mean you can't learn anything from it. That's the biggest takeaway that you can have.
The third baseman, Jack Bell, just his 3rd game now as a Red Sox, is 0 for 3 to start the summer. Bold leads off of first. That pitch in the dirt, smothered by Clark.
Bold wanted to take off there. He thought that was going to get away from Levi Clark. Stumbled on his way back to first. That could have been. He was maybe 2 steps further down that line. Clark could have gunned him back at first.
Now, there's been some aggressive base running early on tonight. Helped both of these teams scratch across a run in the first. Swing and a miss there from Bell. The other thing that's obviously much different compared to the last time these two teams played are the weather conditions. That last game at YD, 95.
Oh, you don't have to remind me, Cory.
Hot.
Wow.
Probably don't have to remind the players either.
I went through like 4 waters in the
It
first
still
4 innings.
probably didn't even feel like enough. 1-2 pitch. There goes the runner Bold. And he's going to get down there without a throw. Another stolen base for the Red Sox. Count even now 2-2.
They're reading Richter well. Every stolen base has come on an off-speed pitch or a breaking ball, so definitely not going on the hot stuff.
Three stolen bases for the Red Sox in that top of the first. Now a runner is scoring position with 1 away. Richter's 2-2. Slapped out of play down the third base line. Obviously tonight, conditions that maybe not as much so favor the offense. Cooler night. Not as much heat. Probably not as much carry on the ball. Dimensions a little farther back. 2-2 pitch. Just misses low. Count goes full.
How much water did you drink that day?
I felt like a camel with the amount of water that I had to store just to get through that game. And we weren't even playing.
No, man. Feel bad for the outfielders.
Exactly. Richter's 3-2. Lined into left field. Charging is Kane, laying out. He made that catch. Welcome to the Gatemen, Andrew Kane, a big out number 2 to keep Bold at second base.
Yeah, everybody can kind of look at the stats and say, well, you know what, that guy's got a pretty good bat. He's going to be in the lineup. And he can also do that. Laying out in left field, first game for the Gatemen, and he got a kind of a late jump on that too. Difficult to tell, with some of the weather conditions, how far that ball is actually going to fly. Definitely not what some of these Gatemen players have been accustomed to over the last few days. Welcome to Wareham.
Yeah, exactly. And a big out number 2, considering the guy at the plate, Braden Dowd, who cut and missed at that one, has torched the Gatemen. 5 for his last 6 against Wareham, including a leadoff single in the first, scored the game's first run. Now hitting here with 2 away. Richter trying to post a 0 here in the second. That one in the dirt. Dowd out of USC, rising junior. Moved to the leadoff spot for the Trojans. Hitting here atop the Red Sox lineup as he's out in front of that one, and it's 1-2 now.
1-2 against a lefty. Gave up that 2-strike hit to lead off the game. Did Richter. Get out of the second inning scoreless. Build some momentum. Feel more comfortable. Clearly got a strong defense behind you, so don't be afraid to, go to the ground ball pitches that you have.
It's a 1-2 with 2 away. Pitch there, hooked foul. Well, Richter had only issued 2 walks coming into this game through his first 2 games started. He's already matched that here tonight. Mixed in with a couple of base hits as well, but trying to limit the damage. Dowd not making things easy. After 2 straight foul balls. Pitch clock down to 5. Down to 2-1. Richter looks in, gets it off. In on the hands. Little flare into center field. Couple steps in for Yost. He's under it for out number 3. So for the Red Sox, no runs, no hits. Runner left on. Through an inning and a half of play, we're tied up at 1 between the Gatemen and the Red Sox on Cape League TV.
Insurance has been servicing Wareham and the surrounding areas since 1980. Call Legacy Insurance for all your insurance needs at 508-295-1315. Legacy Insurance, your hometown agency.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast, so you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When it comes to protecting your home, car, or business, trust the team that's been covering our community for generations. For personalized coverage and service that you can count on, the choice is easy. It's Morse, of course. Visit morseins.com today.
In the early goings this season, the Red Sox are a team that have really separated themselves across the Cape League, coming in at 8-2-1, riding that big win streak, and it's been the pitching and the offense that's been getting things done, as we've talked about. Second the league in batting and OPS, lead the league in ERA, whip, opponent's batting average. They have a plus 27 run differential, obviously the 7 straight wins. But the Gatemen can take pride in the fact that they're one of just 2 teams, including Brewster, to beat the Red Sox this season. And the 7 runs Wareham scored against YD on Tuesday was the most the Red Sox have allowed this season.
Yeah, I was about to say, Cory, the other team that has beaten the Red Sox alongside the Gatemen was Brewster. Brewster started the season 6-0. Of course, have now, started to fall off a little bit, 1-3 over the last 4, but one of those last couple losses were to Wareham.
After Richie showed bunt on the first pitch, takes a ball down low, facing the shifted infield.
Anybody really can beat anybody in this league, especially early on.
1-1. Roller to the right side. Miller comes in a few steps, underhanded flip to first to get Richie. And we've seen the Gatemen rattle off a win streak after they opened the season losing 3 straight. Obviously, it didn't get to 7, but it's the question of how long can you ride those winning waves? How can you recover from a losing streak? The Gatemen have bounced back a couple times after 3-game skids. First pitch to Hayden Yost, a called strike 1.
You just got to stack them together. Just get into a groove, take it one day at a time. That's something that Smythe has talked about a lot, was you have a bad game, flush it, good game, flush it, but, remember the lessons that you learned so you can try and succeed the next day.
Hayden Yost on with a 1-out single after that chopper up the middle. First hit of the game for the Gatemen, and they have a 1-out base runner.
Yost's bat has really started to get hot over the last few games. Didn't have a hit against Brewster yesterday, but before that, 3 for 9 over his last couple games. 1 for 1 so far today. Good spot to try and get the Gatemen's second run.
Colby Turner into the lineup tonight. Utility man for the Gatemen playing second here against the Red Sox. Takes that one up and in for ball 1. Turner at 182. Pair of RBIs, pair of runs for the Gatemen this summer. After spending this past spring at Michigan, checking over at Yost, dives back safely. Kind of seen that rotating infield spot, especially second, short, and third for the Gatemen. And tonight it's Turner inserted into the mix, taking a called strike. Sometimes it's Caius Gargett, sometimes Van Shayen.
There's a lot of good options.
Especially Gargett, who's swinging a hot bat, but we've seen the power from Van Shayen. Another pickoff attempt. Once again, Yost back in safely. And as we've talked about at length, Turner has that ability to kind of plug in wherever you need him. Second, third, seen him in the outfield. 1-1 pitch, Yost takes off. Swinging behind on that one was Colby Turner. And Yost will jog back to first.
A hit and run spot there for the Gatemen. Turner got a good swing on it, just a little bit too far behind. Tried to slice it over into right field, away from where Yost would have then been running. Had he moved over to third, would have been a longer throw.
Count now at 1-2. Runner on at first, 1 away. Facing Brady Hamilton, fires in a foul ball right off of Turner. What's interesting is that Hamilton's been so effective for the Red Sox, but didn't have a particularly strong junior campaign at Wichita State, ERA at 5.38 in 16 appearances, all of which were starts. But with a clean slate this summer has obviously been very effective. Allowed 43 walks, 71 hits to go along with 11 wild pitches throughout his junior campaign. A guy who started since his freshman year. A pitch out right there, nothing doing. And an easy take for Colby Turner.
He also had 79 strikeouts in just 50 and 2/3 innings. So the strikeout numbers have always been there. It's just been the control. That's what's been kind of that missing piece for him at school. He's clearly found it here. Just the one run.
There goes Yost on the 2-2. Once again swinging is Colby Turner. Another foul ball. The Gatemen in search of their first lead of the night. Yost stays put. There's a roller to third. Backhanded by Bell. Fires to second for one. Across to first. In time for a double play. 5-4-3. And Hamilton is out of the inning unscathed. After a pair of runs in the first, these two squads posting zeros in the second, 1-1 through 2 innings of play. Here at Spillane Field, you're watching all the action on Cape League TV.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
Back here for some nighttime action between the Red Sox and the Gatemen. Alongside Josh Richardson, I'm Cory Miller, back here on Cape League TV. After the 6 p.m. start, a pair of runs between the two teams. Both scored in the first. Now top of the third, Cody Miller, Chris Akopian, Garrett Wright, 2-3-4 for the Red Sox. Second time through the order for Richter. First pitch to Cody Miller's a called strike one.
A lot of righties in this YD lineup today. 6 of them total, plus Carreras, the switch hitter. So 7 from that side, as long as a lefty stays in this game.
A 1 pitch, hard hit down the line and past the outstretched Stripling. Charging is Kane, headed for 2 is Cody Miller. He will get there standing with the leadoff double.
Miller ripped it right down the line, and it died so far into that shallow left field corner that, Kane had to charge all the way over to get it. Came at it from an awkward angle, and by that point, there was no chance of throwing out Miller at second base. He was left stranded, though, back in the first, so maybe the Gatemen can have the same luck here in the third.
Seems like especially the middle part of this Red Sox order, Richter's going to have to be especially careful with. Miller, a couple of stolen bases in the first as well. Half-hearted swing by Akopian. Drove in a run on the sacrifice fly back in the first. Held off. Pitch was called the ball, so it's 1-0. The Red Sox DH waiting on a 1-0. Make it 1-1 as the fastball is in there. You know, last time Richter pitched, did so against Falmouth, 4 2/3 scoreless innings. But a much tougher assignment against a Red Sox team, coming in hitting .259 compared to Falmouth, who's just at .204. There goes Miller for third. Throw down, not in time. Another stolen base for Cody Miller. He's up to 3 now in the early going.
Yeah, and another curveball there from Richter. So just really reading the ball out of his hand well, timing it up, making sure that you're not going on a fastball. You're getting, one of the slower pitches in Richter's arsenal to steal on. Gives you the highest advantage to try and swipe that next bag.
2-1 now. In on the hands. Fouled straight back out of play. And right away, another chance for the Red Sox to retake the lead. Infield is back for the Gatemen. Stripling even with the bag at third. It'll be a 2-2 to Chris Akopian. In the dirt, takes. Count goes full.
Got to bear down if you're Richter here. Got a guy 90 feet away, nobody out. Find a way to get an unproductive out here from Hakopian.
Garrett Wright on deck. Meanwhile, the full count pitch misses outside. Hakopian down to first on the free pass. Levi Clark out to talk things over with Chase Richter.
It's so tough. YD just showcasing why they're the best team record-wise in this Cape League so far. Anything that you put in the zone, they're going to hit. Anything that you leave out of the zone, they're not going to swing. Just makes things so difficult and so taxing on both a pitcher's arm and his mind when you have to deal with both of those things throughout the entire course of a start, throughout the game, no matter who's on the mound. Just so impressive.
Eric Luxus and the rest of the Gatemen infield joining the conference on the mound. Already a pitcher warming up for them in the bullpen, Jacob Faulkner. Already still just in the third inning, but given how last game played out, how prolific this YD offense has been, the Gatemen don't want to take any chances. So in an ideal world, Richter able to get out of this with limited damage, if any, but if need be, we want to get arms up early.
Yeah, and Daniel Powell only went 4 innings yesterday, and the Gatemen only had to use 4 arms. It was Powell to Galley to Calera to McDonald. Galley and Calera both went 2 innings apiece, and then McDonald finished it off in the 9th with the save. So a lot of arms are going to be available. Wareham added some more arms to its staff, over these last few days. Some guys coming in, so definitely not a shortage there. And, if Richter doesn't go very long in this game, it's not the end-all, be-all. You just have to prepare, and it's a next-man-up mentality.
Garrett Wright bats with runners on the corners. No one out. Top of the third in a 1-1 game. Hakopian, they have him picked off in a rundown now. Eyes will be on at Miller at third. Turner pumps, flips to McHugh. And a nice job to apply the tag. Eventually, they're going to run down Hakopian. A big first out as it was Randall applying the tag.
Well, there's the unproductive out, Cory. It didn't come when Hakopian was at the plate. Instead, just on the base paths. But now you have that first out. Miller remains on third. You still have to focus on right here at the dish, but a much better spot for the Gatemen here in the third.
And especially, you always got to be careful in those situations. Will the runner take off from third if you lose sight of him? Miller stayed put. First pitch way outside. Easy take for Garrett Wright. Clark had to slide all the way across just to stop it. And now with 1 out, runner still at third, the Gatemen infield comes in. Still just the third inning, but trying to cut a runner down at the plate. Quickly 2-0 on Garrett Wright.
But you got to throw it in the zone. If you're Richter, you have your infield in. Trust your defense. Throw something that can produce a ground ball.
Two-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. Richter's college coach said he wasn't surprised at all about his success this summer so far on the Cape. Said he's one of the best pitchers in America. Said as a program, Arkansas State wouldn't have gotten to where they did without him on the mound. A 2-1 now. Slows it up, but doesn't get the call. Bottom part of the zone, and it's 3-1. Will Gasparino walks, stole a base, waits on deck. Richter's 3-1 now. Outside, ball 4.
Whitey tried to execute, at least one steal, which could have turned into a double steal if Hakopian, didn't get picked off. It was a good move from Richter on the mound, but now it's a spot you still have guys on the corners. Here comes Luxus again to talk things over with Richter, and, 2 quick mound visits like that, this might be it.
Takes the ball, gives Richter a pat on the back, and that will do it. Coming into this game, Chase Richter had not allowed a run across 9 2/3 innings pitched. Here he exits just through 2 1/3 innings pitched. A run already in for the Red Sox. They're threatening for more. Pitching change for the Gatemen. We'll return after a quick break on Cape League TV.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
Law. Live, life, law. Covering all residential and commercial real estate matters. You live life to the fullest and let us sync law. That's synclaw.com. Sync with an I, not a Y. Be selfish. We represent only you.
Sports Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert.
It's only the 3rd inning in this one, but still feels like a make-or-break spot. That's why Chase Richter, through just 2 1/3 innings, departs, and Jacob Faulkner, the future Vanderbilt Commodore, enters with 2 runners on for the Red Sox.
Richter didn't pitch bad. He just didn't have as much control as he's shown over his first 2 starts. Had just 4 walks, 3 hits as well. Gave up the 1 run in the first. Of course, Miller standing on third. That would be credited to him if Faulkner can't stop this prolific YD offense from scoring. But you have men on the corners, a double play possibility intact still for Faulkner.
With the righty Gasparino up at the plate, drew a walk. His only other trip to the plate tonight. First pitch, a called strike 1, and you do now have the couple of righties now that Faulkner presumably will face, that platoon advantage. Faulkner last pitch against Orleans on Wednesday. Came in a tight spot, men on base. Got the last out of the inning. Couple runs did come in, but they were unearned after an error. Getting the piece of that was Gasparino, and it's 0-2.
Gasparino's a pretty tall guy, stands 6'6". With that weird, arm angle delivery from Faulkner, he's already going to have a pretty big strike zone. Faulkner could kind of take advantage of that, use his movement and his delivery to fool him.
Miller on at third, right at first, and he'll dive back safely on the pickoff attempt. Well, we know that Eric Luxus, Ryan Smythe, they really like using Jacob Faulkner in high-pressure situations where they need outs, in large part because of how he executed last season in those situations. The 1.90 ERA is a Cape League All-Star. Deals on a 0-2 pitch. That one sails inside, and it hits Gasparino.
Yeah, that's the danger, righty on righty, when you have that arm slot that, really makes it feel like you're coming back from the right-handed batter's box and then crossing over the plate. If you leave something out there, you're really just leaving it right into his hip.
So the platoon advantage there goes out the window as Carreras will turn around and bat from the left side now. A force at any base for the Gatemen. Corner infielders are in. Middle infielders still at double play depth. Carreras struck out swinging in the first. Facing the reliever, Faulkner swinging and missing at that first pitch.
Loaded here in the third. You have a force out anywhere. You got the corners in. If you can produce a ground ball, just send it home and get that lead runner out. Live to fight another day.
Faulkner, 0-1 pitch outside. And this is obviously a lot earlier in the game than we're used to seeing Jacob Faulkner. Used to see him at the very least middle innings, if not later. But again, given who the Gatemen are playing, given their propensity to score runs in terms of the Red Sox, feels like a situation where he's going to be used even if it's only the third inning. 1-1 pitch is slapped foul.
Well, especially because he only pitched 3 days ago. He went a third of an inning against Orleans. Gave up a run, but it was unearned. Only threw, 8, 9 pitches, 10 pitches?
They got out of the inning after the unearned run, and then that was it. So pretty fresh, and we know he's able to run up that pitch count. Can go multiple innings if you need him to. 1-2 pitch, hard hit into the outfield. That gets down for a base hit. Over to cut it off is Kane. Scoring easily is Cody Miller. Right behind him is Garrett. Right play at the plate, not in time. It's a 2 RBI double for Yomar Carreras. And the Red Sox go back ahead 3-1.
It's another situation, Corey. You have him at 2 strikes, and 2-strike pitching is going to be what has defined, the 3-game losing streak, these last few games overall for Wareham. You have to execute when ahead in counts, when you're only 1 pitch away from, moving on to the next batter. Crucial, especially against such a great team in YD.
Jake Bold, that is, shows bunt. Pulls back, it's a called strike 1. Maybe a little suicide squeeze action with runners on second and third. Bold walked in the second. Infield in for the Gatemen. Now trailing by 2. Pitch here from Faulkner. Weak tapper foul.
All right, here, you're ahead 0-2. If you want to waste a pitch or two to, just kind of keep them off balance, then go right ahead if you're Faulkner. But execute to get this guy out without another run coming in to score.
See what Faulkner has to offer on 0-2. That one is in there for a called strike 3. Splits across the zone. Bold down looking for a big out number 2.
Nice pitch from Faulkner. Got him on the outside corner. Breaking ball that moved from his right. Just a nice pitch at that bottom corner of the zone. Perfectly executed.
Dean Carpentier now flew out to center in the second. Hitting .267 with an RBI entering play. Big swing and a miss. Already 4 runs in across just 2.5 innings. Almost feels like that game on Tuesday between these two squads. But if you're the Gatemen, you probably can't bank on the fact that Brady Hamilton, who did surrender his first run of the summer, is going to buckle that many more times. 0-1. So obviously the importance of limiting the damage to keep this game within reach. It was, as you talked about, Josh, on Tuesday, but then the 4 YD runs in the 8th put it out of reach.
There were a lot of opportunities for the Gatemen in that game to, come away with a win. Had a couple different leads early to mid stages of that game, and then just gave it right back up.
Faulkner a strike away from getting out of the jam. 0-2 pitch to Carpentier, just misses.
It's the same pitch he threw to Bold when he was ahead in the count and had 2 strikes. Located that one. That slider to Carpentier, just too far outside.
Dixon fires 1-2 pitch. Outside by a much larger
Now
margin
a little
right
bit more
there.
outside. But you can see what he wants to do. He has a plan. He's not just throwing pitches, that are called. There's a plan in place, and it's a good one. It just matters, pitch location and just overall execution.
And the stuff is clearly there. 2-2 now. Flied into center field. Right there is Hayden Yost. Makes the catch for out number 3. The Red Sox go back out in front, play 2 runs. They knock Chase Richter out of the game, trying for their 8th straight win, up by 2 through 2.5 here at Spillane Field.
Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company, founded in 1854, is North America's largest cranberry grower and recognized leader in environmentally responsible real estate development and land stewardship. For 171 years, AD Makepeace Company has supported community events and organizations like your Wareham Gatemen. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
For a good piece of glass, call Abby, located at 3 Tyler Ave in East Wareham. Call Abby Glass and Locks about getting a free quote for your windows, doors, locks, and other glass needs.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Hey, we know those guys. Joe McLaughlin, Nate Wallenhopt, our beat and feature writer respectively, enjoying the game just next to the Gateman dugout.
What
Open the
what
squad.
a screenager.
Yeah.
Get off your phone. Enjoy some baseball. Joe's doing it. Joe's locked in.
They've got front row seats. I mean, come on.
You can't beat that view over down the third baseline.
Right next to the dugout. Been fortunate to have both of them on our broadcast throughout the season so far, doing a great job. And why not watch this guy, and Andrew Kane, his first at-bat as a Gateman, made a nice diving play out and left in the second. Recently added a couple days ago. Rising junior at Arizona. Hit .247, 6 homers, 22 RBIs for them this past spring. Quickly behind 0-2.
Such a great bat that you can, add midseason, quarter of the season in to kind of just bolster the offense. Heading into Arizona. Finished his prep career as the number 2 third baseman in the state, so you can really just show, his versatility. He's doing it defensively in left field. He can obviously also play third.
Going to be set down here with a fly out to Dowd in center. When you mention his versatility, Josh, because on the roster he's listed as an infielder, but we've seen him in left, looks comfortable there. In terms of what he played, his background was kind of graded as a third baseman out of high school, but clearly can play the infield, can play the outfield. So just like Colby Turner, a lot of different options for Ryan Smythe. Stripling fouls that bunt straight back.
YD utilizing the shift again here, so if Stripling can, have a well-placed bunt down that third base line, it's the easiest way to beat it. Is hit it where nobody's standing.
With Hamilton back to work and firing in a ball just low. Stripling at 125. He's driven in 2 runs. Both of his 2 hits so far this summer have driven in a base runner. A 1-1 to him now. Trying to go the other way, but fouls it off, and it's 1-2.
What'd you think of the shift getting banned in the MLB? Did you like it or no?
At first, I was really against it because I feel like just logistically, it didn't really make sense. If you can do that and you have a professional hitter who can't go the other way, unlike Landon Stripling, that's on them.
I completely agree.
I think kind of seeing it play out and just having the two infielders on either side, I like the fact that it's maybe reinvigorated some offense, but if you're facing the shift, that's what you need to do, and Landon Stripling did it.
But it's still strategy, right? You know, like if you're a defense and you get told, well, you know, I can't line up, you know, how I want to, right? I mean,
back to the top of the order, and Braden Randall watches a breaking ball in for ball one.
I mean, like the way I think about it is, you know, end of game situations, you know, less than 2 outs, you runner on third. Defense brings in a fifth infielder, you know, pulls an outfield guy in. It's, you know, a semi-shift, if you want to call it that.
Feels like the same pig with different lipstick.
Yeah.
Swinging strike there from Randall.
Just go the other way.
And we've seen that a couple of times. Ty Daly, as you mentioned, did it against the Red Sox, and here Landon Stripling does it against them once again. They're shifting most of these Gatemen lefties, Randall being a possible exception. There goes Stripling for second, swing and a miss, throw down in plenty of time. Stripling cut down by a mile, base runner erased, there's 2 away.
He was gunned. I mean, that was a laser of a throw from Jake Bold. Delivered it on the money. Carreras covered the bag perfectly. Stripling got a pretty good jump on it too, but just didn't matter. That throw beat him.
Randall right back up the middle, off of Hamilton. Caroms right to the first baseman, Carpentier. Randall doesn't want to get tagged. Instead, Carpentier just steps on the bag.
I guess MLB The Show is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
'Cause, man, if that hasn't happened to me 1,000 times.
Tough break for Randall and the Gatemen. They go down in order after Stripling was cut down following his base hit. So they can't respond after YD played it 2 in the top of the third. We move ahead to the fourth, 3-1, Red Sox over Gatemen on Cape League TV.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
Back here at Spillane Field, 3-1, Red Sox over the Gatemen. The Red Sox currently in first place in the East Division at 8-2-1. 1-1. They split the first 2 meetings against this Gateman squad. The Harbor Hawks, another team atop the West Division standings. They've looked really strong so far this summer as well.
How about Katuitt right now, Cory? 6-0 lead. Team started the year, 1-6-1, 1-7-1, rattling off a couple wins.
It's been a struggle for the Kettleers. One of those 2 wins was against the Gatemen.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one that, you know, Wareham would like to have back. But, you know, 2nd game of the season, everybody's still getting used to things. Let's chalk it up to that.
Faulkner back to work after replacing Richter in the 3rd, here in the 4th. 1-1 the count on Jack Bell. When you look at the standings in the West. The only team currently over 500 is Hyannis. Again, they're playing really strong baseball at 7-3-1. The Gatemen and the Commodores tied for second at 5-6. Fly ball down the left field line, drifting into foul territory, where it will land, so count moves to 1-2.
But you're one game below 500. I mean, you're close. Clearly playing good baseball. Wareham and, 2 of the 5 wins have come against the top 2 teams in the East. Have a win against Hyannis. I mean, it's really been some of the bad losses, right? I mean, a loss to Katuitt, a loss to Chatham, a loss to Orleans. Those are the 3, worst teams record-wise in the league that they've played, and 3 of the 4 worst teams record-wise overall.
An infield single for Jack Bell. Turner tried to range over, couldn't make the throw in time. Ball not hit particularly hard. Turner had a long ways to go. It's now a runner on base for Braden Dowd, top of the Red Sox order. A single and a flyout for the center fielder Dowd so far tonight. Facing Faulkner for the first time. Sends a foul ball off of one of the light posts. Cameron's back into the field of play.
What in the world are the odds of that?
Gotta be pretty low. Right to the right of the Gateman third base dugout. It just eclipsed the netting. 0-1 the count on Dowd. Sends it into left center field. Kane on the run, tracks it down, makes the catch for out number 1.
Nice jump. I mean, defensively, he just seems like an athlete. This is really the first look that we've been getting from him so far, but listed as a third baseman, playing the outfield today, has that dive and catch. Good run over into the alley in left center to make that grab.
Second time Braden Dowd has been retired. Key to keeping him off base, someone who has been on base twice, scored a run back in the third, is Cody Miller. Popped a home run in that YD win over the Gatemen on Tuesday. 2 for 5 he finished. Third at bat for him, righty on righty, a big swing and a miss. You think back to those standings for a quick minute. Overall, there's 10 teams across the Cape League. Only 3 of them are currently above 500. So a lot of competition early on through now 11 games. That pitch way high. YD, Brewster, and Hyannis, the only squads above the 500 mark. Harwich at 5-5-1 at 500. Everyone else below that mark. Gateman trying to get back to 500 with a win here tonight against the best team in the Cape. Bell leading off of first. The pitch here to Miller's a high pop-up. Out of play down the third baseline. And the count moves to 1-2.
Ahead on Miller. He's 2-2. Don't give him anything to hit. Try and find something that you can chase with. That first pitch, he whiffed on a breaking ball. Go back to that well. See how far out he'll go. You have a couple to work with.
On 1-2. There's a shot into right field. Ritchie on the move. Gets underneath of it. Makes the catch. Retreating to first is Jack Bell. Pair of fly ball outs after the leadoff single, and there's 2 away.
It's the third time through this order, Cory, and YD only has struck out twice. That's just a testament to the bat on ball skills that the Red Sox have had so far this season.
There's 75 strikeouts coming into the game tonight, fewest across the Cape.
Yeah, that would check out.
They don't really walk a ton. The only team that walks fewer than them are the Gatemen. First pitch to Copian, a called strike 1. But not a huge issue when they've been swinging the bats as well as they have been.
Yeah, 37 walks for the Red Sox, 34 for the Gatemen. But that on-base percentage just telling in terms of differential, 340 to 299, comparing the two teams.
Bell back on the pickoff attempt. The on-base percentage for the Gatemen at .299 is 10th. At .340 for the Red Sox, it's second. 0-1 pitch from Faulkner. Grounded slowly down the third base line, charging to Stripling, fires to first, in time. Nice play by the Gateman third baseman, gets a tap on the glove by Jacob Faulkner. A clean fourth inning for the Gatemen. No runs for the Red Sox. They still lead by a pair, 3-1, as we move ahead to the bottom of the fourth on Cape League TV.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts. Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
The rain is held off here at Spillane Field after some drops throughout the afternoon. The sun is out moderately here in Wareham. Third meeting of the summer thus far between the Red Sox and the Gatemen has favored the visitor through 3.5, 3-1. Red Sox over the Gatemen. Back alongside Josh Richardson, I'm Cory Miller. 2-3-4 for the Gatemen as they look to claw back, tie this game up off of Brady Hamilton, who surrendered just the one run back in the first. Clark drove in that only run for the Gatemen, an RBI ground out after Randall walked, stole a bag, then got to third on a wild pitch. Clark and Daly have kind of tonight moved up from 3-4 to 2-3 in the order. And three of the most consistent names in this Gateman lineup, especially given how they've produced, are Braden Randall, Levi Clark, Ty Daly, the first three hitters in the order.
For good reason, too.
1-1 pitch. Blasted into center field. After it is down, he can't get it. It rolls past him. Levi Clark on his horse, charging to second. He's going to turn and head for third. The relay throw there is not going to come in. Levi Clark gets to third to open the bottom of the fourth.
How about the wheels from Levi Clark, Cory?
He's a catcher, that guy.
Doesn't look like it. This is the danger, though, that you have when you try and dive after a ball out in center. Gets past Braden Dowd, just couldn't time it up, just snuck under his glove and went almost near the wall. Nice job from Gasparino over in left to, help cut that off.
That one is lined up the middle, but it hangs up right at Carreras. With the runner on at third, one pitch, one out, and Hamilton gets a big out number one off the bat of Daly.
Now it's funny because if the shift is on, then that one is gapped into left center. All Daly can really do is smile on his way back to the dugout because he knows it too. Infield moves in.
Yeah, not really a full shift there against Daly. So here's McHugh swinging that hot bat. 2 hits, including a homer yesterday. Gateman in need of a run or two. First pitch to McHugh, a called strike one. McHugh and Clark over at third, two of the newer additions to this Gateman offense. Finding their groove lately, it seems. The 1 pitch. And it's quickly 0-2. McHugh has talked about, especially after the game yesterday, trying not to get to 2 strikes against some of the better arms across the Cape. Trying to protect right now. Drive in Levi Clark on at third. 0-2. Swing and a miss. It gets away from Bold. Charging to the plate is Levi Clark. He scores. The Gatemen get a run back as reaching to first on the swing and miss strikeout is Chris McHugh.
I'm sure there's prettier ways to get on first, Cory, but Chris McHugh is not going to complain about that. Second run of the game scores for Wareham. Tying run is now on base. Go ahead at the dish. It's a big spot for Colin Ritchie to really get his bat going so far this year.
They've been waiting for that power especially to set in from Colin Ritchie. With an out, a runner on at first, and a run in. Facing Brady Hamilton for the second time, and facing the shift as well, with the shortstop Carreras playing on the second base side of the bag.
You don't have to hold a guy on at third anymore. That's why the shift was not in effect for Ty Daly. Jack Bell had to make sure that Clark wasn't, going to get a free pass to go however far down the line he wanted to.
You said the Gatemen getting away with one, maybe a little bit right there on the pass ball after the swinging strike from McHugh. Reached first after it caromed off of Bold to the backstop. Clark scores. Could have been a situation where Hamilton, if the ball was hung onto, didn't take that crazy bounce, would have had 2 outs with the runner on at third. Ritchie, a roller to the right side. Charging is Miller. Flips to second for one. Across to first. Ritchie's able to beat it out. He reaches on the fielder's choice to keep the inning alive.
Not ideal, but also not a double play. So now you give Hayden Yost, who already has a single, another shot at it.
Yost at 156, a homer and an RBI. Tied for the team lead in games played with Ty Daly. Hasn't started all of them. Consistent factor in center field for the Gatemen. Slap the other way. It's through for a base hit. Ritchie up to second. Yost is 2 for 2 tonight.
A single back up the middle on a chopper, a single the opposite way. Hayden Yost is having himself a day.
In a big spot for Colby Turner. His team trailing by a run. Bottom of the fourth. Brady Hamilton, who just like Chase Richter, came into this game not having allowed a run. 2 runs have come in so far tonight for the Gatemen. Just misses the bottom part of the zone, and it's 1-0 on Colby Turner. Ritchie on at second, reached on the fielder's choice, followed by Yost's base hit. And now it's the second baseman, Turner. Yost, big lead at first, and he's picked off. The first baseman, Carpentier, at the time was not covering the bag. Snuck in behind Yost. Hamilton stepped off. And they team up to nab Yost, leading off of the bag. So the Gatemen leave 2 runners on, but they scratch a run across. The triple by Levi Clark. Scores on the wild pitch, 3-2. The Red Sox up by a run through 4 innings we played here in Wareham.
Insurance has been servicing Wareham and the surrounding areas since 1980. Call Legacy Insurance for all your insurance needs at 508-295-1315. Legacy Insurance, your hometown agency.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When it comes to protecting your home, car, or business, trust the team that's been covering our community for generations. For personalized coverage and service that you can count on, the choice is easy. It's Morse, of course. Visit morseins.com today.
approaching the bottom of the hour here in Wareham, and what has developed into a really calm night. Temperatures just above 70 degrees. Sun is poked through the clouds, overcast throughout most of the day. As Jacob Faulkner's night is done, replaced by Josh Butler, the big right-hander. The Gatemen got a run back in the bottom of the fourth, and once again, the assignment now for Butler is going to be to keep the deficit where it is.
Yeah, it really seems like this game is just all hands on deck. You know, Chase Richter kind of falls into this game's lap to be the starter, you know, on that consistent schedule. Josh Butler been one of the best arms out of the bullpen for Wareham this season. Jacob Faulkner, maybe not so far this year. He had a much better outing, you know, against Harwich earlier in the season or on the later end of, you know, his 4 appearances this year. But he was so good last year, so definitely a trusted arm for Ryan Smythe in this team. And then Butler, obviously, you know, he just keeps pitching well. He hasn't allowed a single run yet this season in 3 appearances. Pitched against YD back on the 25th when an inning and a third. Walked 3, struck out 2.
Faces Garrett Wright, Gasparino, and Carreras, 4, 5, 6. In the YD order. Right, walked, scored a run back in the third. Facing Butler in his 4th game out of the bullpen. Working a ball down in the zone, 1-0. And there's a lot of arms that have been effective for the Gatemen out of the bullpen, so couldn't necessarily say that maybe this is the 1A option in a close game that you really want to win, but Faulkner, obviously the 1.90 ERA last summer. Butler hasn't allowed a run this summer. So the arms we've seen out of the bullpen for Ryan Smythe have been 2 of their top options, it would seem. 1-1, dips inside.
Well, there's a couple really good guys. I mean, Patrick Galley, you know, pitched 2 really big innings yesterday in the win against Brewster. Lazaro Calera did the same thing. Caden McDonald had the save. I mean, there's so many different options that Ryan Smythe can go to. I mean, Carson Mayfield, he's been used as a starter, but he's been really good. Jordan Stevens has been pretty good outside of the outing against Orleans.
3-1, zips in there, called strike 2. Butler 6 1/3, scoreless innings. 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, so an occasional free pass mixed in with the punch-outs. 3-2 pitch, locks him up, called strike 3. Good start to the inning for Josh Butler.
Garrett Wright looked like he thought that was outside. He made a long look to Thomas DaGosta, the home plate umpire, to make sure that one was out. He thought it was outside, of course, but Agosta said that clipped the outside corner.
So now it's Gasparino against Butler. And what has got to be one of the tallest pitcher-batter matchups we've seen. Gasparino squares to bunt, hits off of him. The Gatemen dugout arguing that made contact with Gasparino after it was already in fair play, but ruled as a foul ball.
Yeah, what, 6'6"?
Butler at 6'7". You said Gasparino 6'6", so yeah. Gasparino spent the past 2 seasons at Texas in the portal. Butler out of Arizona State, the 0-1. Breaking ball beneath the zone. UCLA is the favorite to land the Los Angeles native Gasparino. What is being described as the biggest offseason departure from the Longhorns. That one up and in, backs him off the plate. Gasparino was ranked number 75 prospect in the 2023 MLB draft by MLB.com. And a fairly newcomer to this YD squad. He's been on base twice, a walk and a hit by pitch. And now here, heading the count 3-1. Yomar Carreras waits on deck. Butler in his first inning to work out of the bullpen. Kicks and deals, 3-1. Bounce down the third base line, stays in fair territory. Stripling the off-balance throw. A nice pick on the other end by McHugh, but ultimately not in time. Gasparino reaches for the 3rd time tonight, this time on an infield single.
So thanks to the handy-dandy internet, Loic Von Mill, standing at 7'1", against Nate Freeman at 6'8" is the tallest pitcher versus hitter matchup in baseball history, professional baseball history. That was in the WBC, where Von Mill for Team Dutch, Freeman for Team Israel, back in 2017.
There goes Gasparino. Pitch a called strike. Throw down in time. How about that tag applied by Braden Randall? He and Clark team up to nab Gasparino at second.
And he got him right on the head, too. I mean, that throw was right on line from Clark to, deliver it at the top of Gasparino's body. Just perfectly executed there for Wareham.
Well, as we were just talking about, he got plenty of body to try and tag. On the ground to first, McHugh stays down on it, jogs to the bag, steps on first for out number 3. Solid inning of work for Josh Butler. No runs, 1 hit, and no one left on for the Red Sox. Gatemen a run away from tying this game up at 3, trying to do so when we return in the last of the 5th on Cape League TV.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
3-2, Gatemen trail the Red Sox through 4.5 innings. Before we return to the field, we'll send it over to the third member of our broadcast team, Rayna Maggelet.
Yeah, guys, it's been a pretty eventful day here at Spillane Field this morning. The athletes and the interns had media day. The New Bedford Little League was here before the game to do a meet and greet with the players right in the dugout, and 3 of them actually got to throw out the first pitch, and the 4th was a representative from Damien's Food Pantry. Today they're collecting non-perishables from 6 to 9 to give back to the local community. Josh, Cory, back to you guys.
Rayna, thank you. Certainly a fun day for the players and the interns with all of the pregame festivities.
We got some nice photos in. I'd say.
Haven't seen them yet, but
no.
We enjoyed being part of it.
I trust the social media team.
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing with the camera and everything. Better than I do.
I won't disagree with you there.
Colby Turner swings and misses at that one. Retired for out number 1 with Brady Hamilton still dealing on the mound now through 4 1/3 innings.
He really is pitching well. I mean, so far through 4 1/3, his pitch count only at 55.
Facing Andrew Kane, second Gateman at bat, flew out to center his first time up, takes a called strike 1 here. You're on Cape League TV with Josh Richardson. I'm Cory Miller. That one is driven into shallow center field. Long run for Dowd, lays out. He's got it. A nice diving grab to rob Andrew Kane of his first Gateman hit.
Well, there's Dowd's revenge. You know, he had the one go by him with Levi Clark. Tracks that one really well on the way in. Makes a nice grab over in left center for the inning's second out.
The shift is on here against Landon Stripling. Another look at that great catch by Dowd. Shows bunt, trying to go against the shifted infield. Did so in his only other at bat in the third. A line drive base hit into left.
Yeah, it seems like he's fine conceding that first strike if he's going to try and drop that bunt down. But, I mean, if this at-bat is anything like the first, he'll square up here.
Thought maybe after the Red Sox were up by 2 runs, 3-1, this game might have a look of another offensive outburst between these two teams. Another shot the other way, past the outstretched glove of Bell, and Landon Stripling is 2 for 2.
You know, two of the guys with the lowest batting averages on the team, the two guys with the lowest batting average in the starting lineup, of course, minus Andrew Kane. You know, he hasn't played yet. But Hayden Yost, Landon Stripling, 4 for 4 combined, have 4 singles. I mentioned it earlier, you know, during the game. The production from the top 4 guys in the lineup are going to be there. They have been all season, but it's those 5 through 9 that if you can get those bats get going, a couple of them, you don't need all of them to produce every single game, but just mix and match. Some of them play well. They get on base. Productive at-bats, even if, you know, even if you still get out, you see a lot of pitches from a guy. I mean, definitely prompting this quick mound visit here, but this bottom end of the Gatemen lineup is going to be really big if Wareham wants to try and win this game.
Prolonged talk on the mound. Jeff Pickler out as well. Brady Hamilton had gone 4 2/3, allowed just the 2 runs, certainly a longer outing than Chase Richter. Thomas Agosta, home plate umpire, now out to the mound.
That'll be the call, looks like.
Waiting to get the Red Sox relief pitcher into the game, trying to signal out to that bullpen beyond the right field fence. Looks like the writing's on the wall that this is it for Hamilton. Now he's still holding on to the ball,
still got the ball, yeah.
And Pickler's walking back to the dugout, so at least for now, it would seem like this is Hamilton's inning.
Yeah, and now Ryan Smythe's going to go out and talk to the umpire here. And, I mean, that's just a really weird situation. I don't know if I've seen that before, Cory. I mean, it seemed like, I mean, you can see, you know, the bullpen over in right field, the visitor bullpen is, you know, past the outfield wall. So it's not completely visible, but just, you know, you can see baseballs flying, guys playing catch. Just beyond that blue screening, you can see some outlines of some of the YD players. I mean, maybe nobody was ready to come into the game at that point.
And the argument from Smythe probably is, well, if you signal to the bullpen, you even have the umpires.
Somebody has to come in. Yeah.
You had really all 3 of the umpires trying to join the fray and get the relief pitcher into the game. But it's still Hamilton facing Randall, who smacks that one into right field. It's down for a base hit. Stripling around second. How far will they send him? He's getting the wave around third. The relay throw coming to the plate. Stripling is out at the plate. The throw beat him by plenty. He tried to employ the deke techniques. Ultimately a closer play than thought it originally might be. And the Gatemen inches away from tying this game up at 3. A thrilling end to the 5th inning. Stripling cut down to the plate, preserves the 1-run YD lead. 3-2 they lead over the Gatemen through 5. Josh Richardson will have you the rest of the way on Cape League TV.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
We're back here at Spillane Field, 3-2 lead for YD entering the sixth. We got to see some of our beat reporters. How about our baseball ops guys, Cory? They're hard at work, getting some scouting in.
They probably got a great view at that last play at the plate when Stripling was cut down, sitting right behind the home plate dish, behind the backstop.
Maybe that's the best view in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right behind everything.
And I think, shameless plug to all of these games, the best attraction, you don't have to pay a cent to watch any of this action.
Of course not.
Although, selfishly, we'd probably prefer you maybe listen to us at the same time.
You could do both at the same time,
Exactly.
right? I mean, go to the game, pull it up on the stream. You'll only be about 10 seconds behind the live action. Bring some earplugs. Butler's 0-1, cut on and missed. Bold, Carpentier, and Bell, 7, 8, 9 in the YD order here in the sixth. Two of those guys helped perform that relay to gun down Stripling at the plate, keep the Red Sox with the 1-run lead.
Yeah, we were talking about that last play, Josh, during the break, and I think we both agreed it was definitely a good send by Mike Mobbs at third base. Stripling, decent speed, but obviously the relay and plenty of time combined between, obviously you said it, Carpentier throwing a home plate right in the outfield, just textbook relay, but certainly Stripling made it interesting at the plate.
Breaking ball misses downstairs. I mean, it was a great throw from Carpentier to gun him down at the plate, but, you know, that throw gets offline. You have to perform two really good throws from right field to first base to catcher to get him at home. Credit to YD, they did that. I guess from the opposite standpoint, you could say, well, you know what, you have your two, and you have at least Levi Clark coming up to the plate, arguably one of your best hitters for the Gatemen this season. Could have driven him in, but what's done is done. Carpentier swings and misses at a fastball.
Well, you have Garrett Wright in right field for the Red Sox, who's listed as a catcher, a utility player. Obviously, the Gatemen have those scouting reports, so the fact that you have a traditional catcher in right field, the fact that even though these are the best of the best college players, a perfect relay doesn't always happen, so that probably factored into Mike Mobbs' decision.
Butler's 0-2, swung on and missed. Two quick strikeouts here in the sixth. Josh Butler mowing him down.
Butler's looked really strong since entering this game. The location, especially to start the bottom of the sixth, has really been there across these first two strikeouts.
Lined over into left, down for a hit. Jack Bell wastes no time in his third at-bat. He's 2 for 3 today with 2 singles.
A good approach by the Red Sox third baseman, just shooting that the other way. Let it get in on the hands a little bit, but still able to get the barrel of the bat to that one. Timing it up really well.
Wareham not doing a whole lot of shifting like we're seeing YD do. Still going the other way with it. Difficult and impressive nonetheless. Fourth time through the order. First pitch to Dowd. Chopped over to third. Big run there at third, and a play made at the bag by Stripling. Nice toss across the diamond to retire the side. YD leaves one runner on here in the sixth, and we head to the home half with the Gatemen still trailing by 1.
Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen Field. Go Gatemen!
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player. You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Brady Hamilton found a way to survive the fifth. Made it out thanks to an assist from his right fielder, Garrett Wright. His day done after 5 innings. Derek Schaefer into the game for the Red Sox.
Strong option out of the bullpen for YD. 1-0 in 2 games, 2.57 ERA. He's thrown 7 innings across those 2 games, so an option for the Red Sox to go multiple innings if they need him to. He's thrown 98 pitches across those 2 outings. So kind of a long reliever option in a 1-run game. Just the 2 earned runs in those 7 innings of play. And credit to Hamilton. Obviously, he and Richter both couldn't preserve those scoreless inning streaks, but 5 innings of work, 2 earned runs allowed. The Red Sox will take that.
YD entered with a 2.08 ERA, Cory. That's across 9 innings. Have the 2 earned runs so far through 5. Clark, Daly, and McHugh, 2, 3, 4 in this order. Clark lines that one into left. Levi wasting no time here in the 6th, and the Gatemen have a leadoff base runner.
Confidence is so important in any sport, but especially baseball, and I think seeing how Stripling and Randall ended that 5th inning, the Gatemen didn't get a run, but hitting the ball well. And for Levi Clark to pick out a pitch he liked, outer third of the plate, and just take it to left field. A strong start to the inning for the Gatemen and shows that they're going to be able to get to Schaefer, which has been difficult for teams to do when he's pitched this summer.
1 on for Daly. First pitch breaking ball finds the zone for a strike. You mentioned just the 2 earned runs this season that Schaefer has allowed. One of them came back here at Spillane Field when these 2 teams met for the first time. Wareham won that matchup 3-2. Daly cuts on and misses. Schaefer came in relief for Carson Ballard, the starter. Schaefer went 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned, struck out 3 and walked 1. So on the one hand, definitely been one of the better pitchers for YD this summer. On the other hand, Gatemen have had success so far this season. Daly stays alive.
And the fact that they're now able to see these guys multiple times, yeah, it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, but as we've talked about, as the matchups continue to grow and the hitters see more pitches, those matchups favor the hitters more so than the pitchers. So if you're the Gateman, you're happy to see a familiar arm on the mound.
0-2, swing and a miss. Daly down on strikes, brings up Chris McHugh. Still a 3-2 lead for YD. Clark represents the tying run over on first.
Really nice pitch, located perfectly. Looked like a changeup outside corner, really tough to time up. Have to go the other way with that approach, but located perfectly by Schaefer.
McHugh, one of the hottest bats in this Gateman lineup. Of course, 1 through 4 today have all been swinging well coming into. Braden Randall had that double back in the 5th. That extended his hit streak up to 6 games now. 1-0 to McHugh. Big hack and fouls that off of his foot, and he's limping over near his dugout.
Looked like maybe it caught him on the inner part of that foot. Doesn't look like he has any protection.
Yeah, no ankle guard down there. Hopefully he can just shake this off.
And that's tough. Sometimes if you get it off the foot, if it's not hit too hard, you obviously have that cleat that offers some layer of protection, but kind of the sides around the ankle. Not a lot to protect you. He's trying to shake it off.
Credit to him. I mean, that was an inside pitch from Schaefer. McHugh swung at it, got a piece of it, and just, it was so far down and in that his swing, he kind of went down to a knee with his lead leg. When that body gets that much closer to the ball, there's not as much time for the ball to slow down. Can't feel good. He's taking a couple practice swings just to see if he can, get back into the feel of things. Still having a conversation with Smythe and Wareham's athletic trainer.
And that's the conversation. Obviously, ideally, you don't know for sure, but is it at a point pain-wise where he can stay in this game? Maybe, but if he's not going to be able to swing at 100%, again, Chris McHugh is a fantastic ball player, so even some semblance of that, chances are he's going to produce. But if he's going to be in pain getting that front foot down, and obviously planning it, running the bases, playing the infield.
And now he's just trying to jog it off.
It's probably a situation where you might want to get someone who's 100% in, but it looks like he's going to try and shake this off.
Yeah, I mean, he's nodding, and I feel like at this point, if you're going to test it out that much and you're going to keep on battling to see if you can go, I mean, you're going to find whatever you have within yourself to make sure that you can step back into that box. I don't know if that conversation would have gone on that long if McHugh was willing to, sacrifice the at-bat, sacrifice his day at the plate today and in the field. 1-1, misses inside.
And that's not someone you want out of the game for the Gatemen. Just his 4th game of the season for Wareham. Already has 2 home runs to lead this team in long balls.
McHugh playing first defensively. Ty Daly pinch hitting. Or designated hitting, I should say. McHugh skies one into right center. Drifting back goes right, and he makes the grab.
I think that's a pretty good sign right there from McHugh. Jogging a little bit gingerly, it looks like, back to the dugout.
He's favoring that foot a little bit.
The fact that he was able to plant it and go the other way, get a good piece of contact on that swing, a good sign. I doubt he'll be at 100% the rest of the way. Ideally, just a bruise for him right now. We'll see if he stays in this game.
I mean, it'll be a big tell to see if he goes out defensively. Colin Ritchie at the dish, cuts on and misses a breaking ball. I guess that is one benefit of having Daly as your DH is, worst case, you can move him over to first. Find another offensive replacement there if McHugh's day is done. Find out. Ritchie fouls it off.
Yeah, Stripling has plenty of experience at first base as well. He's looked really great at the hot corner tonight. A lot of nice plays, but you do have some options with that versatility you have.
It's one of the best things. Something that Smythe has talked about. A lot of multifaceted players on this team. 0-2, 2 outs. Schaefer kicks and deals. Fouled off over the left field line.
I bet Colby Turner could play first, too. I'm convinced there's not a position out there he couldn't play.
He could play anywhere. He's played in right. He's played a little bit in left as well. Middle infield, over at third. Clark on first. 0-2 to Ritchie. Misses downstairs.
You said it earlier, Josh, but Gateman really waiting for that big hit from Ritchie. The plate discipline, he's drawn 5 walks. Leader on the team, tied for the team lead. But if he can start swinging the bat with the extra base hits, maybe even the home runs, would just be such an added bonus. We've seen him in the middle part of this lineup in some big spots.
1-2. Pitch gets away from the catcher, Bold. And now Clark moves over into second.
And the plate discipline that we've seen is half the battle. And yeah, he struck out some, but at the same time, even while he's gone down in counts, he's worked his way back into counts if that's what he needed to do. Again, once he can get hot, the confidence in him is there, because even though he's not hitting second, you move him down to fifth, maybe take a little bit of the pressure off of him. The Gatemen still relying on him in a big spot.
Tying run in scoring position. Shift is on. Schaefer deals. Cut on and missed. Richie down on strikes. Second K of the inning for Derek Schaefer. And the Gatemen leave a runner on second to end the 6th inning. Heading into the 7th, Red Sox lead the Gatemen 3-2 on Cape League TV.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts. Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
Josh Butler back on the mound, third man out of the pen for Wareham tonight. Derek Schaefer, second man for YD. 3-2 lead for the Red Sox over the Gatemen. Those are two guys that have a lot of familiarity with each other. Might almost feel like a scrimmage over in Tempe.
Yeah, and they've really had two strong summers for their respective teams. Schaefer, the ERA, definitely down 7 innings of work. Butler through 8 in the third. Hasn't allowed any runs. Both pitching here in big spots in a run game. And cool to see that, because obviously you don't know necessarily who's going to come in at what time out of the bullpen, but unique to see that matchup.
I mean, these are two guys that have been pitching really, really well. Cory, you mentioned it. I'm sure Willie Bloomquist, the head coach over at Arizona State, got to be pretty happy with two of his guys, what they can bring to the Sun Devils next season. Shallow pop-up over into right field. And a catch made by Richie to retire Miller to start off the 7th.
Yeah, especially since they're doing such a strong job, Butler and Schaefer, to start the season up here at the Cape. League with that prestige, when you can have success against some of the top hitters across the country, it brings a lot of pride to the program.
Best on best. Butler versus the middle of this YD order. Miller, Hakopian, and Wright. 2-3-4 for the Red Sox. Hakopian hitless so far today. Had a sac fly in the first, walked in the third, and then was picked off. Grounded out over to third to end the 4th. Butler delivers. Chopper to short. And a nice throw across the diamond from Braden Randall to get the second out.
Randall tested a little bit there. Obviously did a nice job getting to that ball. Not a ton of room he had to range to get there. But he had to get a lot on the throw from deep in the hole. Showed off the velocity on the arm to get Hakopian.
While Butler remained in the game on the mound, we were talking about it, during the home half of the 6th, Cory. Chris McHugh day, it seems like it will be done. Caden McDonald replaces him over at first base.
It's a tough break for the Gatemen when you lose someone, a hitter the caliber of Chris McHugh, who has started to find his groove, the 2 home runs the past couple of games. It's kind of nice when the guy replacing him is hitting .474.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Right charging down the line, and a nice quick play for McDonald to retire the side. Fly out, ground out, strikeout for Josh Butler. Heading into the home half of the 7th, Red Sox still lead just 3-2 on Cape League TV.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
Back at Spillane Field, bottom of the 7th. Here from Wareham, Gatemen trail the Red Sox 3-2. Derek Schaefer back out now for his second inning of action. He'll have to face 6, 7, 8 in the Gatemen order, Yost, Turner, and Kane.
But that first guy in Hayden Yost, 2 for 2 tonight. He's been an on-base machine. If he can get on to start the inning, potentially utilize that speed, I think that's where it could start for the Gatemen. Andrew Kane's had a couple of fly ball outs, but certainly he's been a solid bat option for Arizona. I think if you can get it to Landon Stripling, who is also 2 for 2, that would be an ideal situation for the Gatemen, so at least someone has to get on base here.
Yost chopped one back up the middle in his first at-bat. Then in the 4th, went opposite way over into left field. Shortly after that, picked off over at first, tried to get a big lead on Carpentier at the bag. And a quick pickoff move from Brady Hamilton gunned him down. Takes a first pitch fastball in for strike 1. Yost 0 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout. But over the last few games before that, 3 for 9. And now 2 for 3 today with a quick ground out to second.
Got a pretty good piece of that one. Just missed finding the hole, just not quite enough velocity off of that one. We've seen some infield singles off of that with the second baseman really having to range to his left to make that play. Couldn't come up with the hit there. And Schaefer gets a big out, number 1.
Despite the final score of the contest over at Red Wilson Field a few days ago, Cory, you know, it was 13-7, but it was 9-7 going into the 8th. I mean, this is a spot where this game is by no means over, and all 3 games between these two teams have been close for an extended period of time. 3-2 win for the Gatemen back about a week and a half ago at this point. That was the first win of the season for Wareham. And you come back, 13-7 win for the Red Sox, but just a 2-run game in the 8th. 3-2 here today. 1-1 to Turner. Fastball misses downstairs.
Yeah, whether it's a pitcher's duel, whether it's the offense getting things done, as you said, the games have been close. The team that's going to do the little things well and better than the opposition is going to win this one late in the game. Defense, quality at bats.
Schaefer deals, chopped over to Carpentier, right at him in a nice play. Shift on for Turner, but on the right-handed side, and a quick second out here in the 7th.
Yeah, so that's where the shift works against Colby Turner, despite the fact he went the other way. Typically, that's going to be a ground ball base hit, especially with the velocity he got off of the bat. Right at Carpentier, though, as you saw. Still some good defense, a hot shot right at him, but to make sure he knocks it down, keeps it in front of him at the very least, and quickly 2 outs.
He vacuumed it over at first. Something that might have gotten through. Now a shift the other way for Andrew Kane. First pitch breaking ball finds the bottom of the zone.
And the mindset from Kane has to be, how can I get Stripling up to the plate? He's got pretty good speed. He gets on with 2 outs. It basically could maybe score him. Walk, base hit. Ball works.
0-1, flied into left. Gasparino just takes 2 steps to his right and makes the grab. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. 2 innings to go here from Spillane Field. And the Red Sox with a narrow 3-2 lead on Cape League TV.
Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following. Law. Live, life, law. Covering all residential and commercial real estate matters. You live life to the fullest and let us Sync Law. That's synklaw.com. Sync with an I, not a Y. Be selfish. We represent only you.
Sports Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen Field. Go Gatemen.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
I'll tell you what, Cory, I wanted to talk about Caden McDonald, and it's a really great thing that he's coming in as a defensive replacement at first base. This is a guy, he's a two-way prospect from Florida. He played for Gateman pitching coach Eric Luxus at Sickles High School. One of his teammates, Hayden Yost, out in center field tonight. His freshman year at Florida suffered Tommy John, had to have surgery, redshirted that first year. And then this past season in his redshirt freshman year, he pitched 28 innings, 4-0 record for now the first baseman. This is a guy that didn't get a whole lot of offensive at-bats at Florida for the Gators, but now coming in here, he's loved every moment of the opportunity to get some of these arms. You know, he said not seeing a whole lot of live pitching for that long, then jumping back in against the best arms in the country every day. It's been a challenge, but he's up for it. He loves hitting. He's excited for how much progress that he can make. He's not worried about stats. He's not worried about the numbers. He just wants to go out and play his game. First pitch from Butler to Gasparino is grounded through Landon Stripling over at third. And drifting out into left field. 1 pitch, 1 hit for Will Gasparino here to start off the 8th.
That's a tough break for Stripling because
He's had a nice
he really
day.
has on both sides of the ball, and he has made some really tough plays at third base. A guy who's kind of played all over, especially first base, DH. The way he's adjusted over there has been really admirable. And again, these aren't just easy plays he's made. These are tough plays he's made. And that's the tough thing about third base is you're getting the short ground balls, which means you have the smallest amount of time of any infield position to be able to react.
First pitch to Carreras is a big hack and a miss.
Correction, now batting the shortstop, number 12, Yomar Carreras.
I mean, I don't mean to be this guy, Cory, and you know, I'm kind of roasting myself here, but I mean, that was Bill Buckner-esque, I should say. Of course, a lot harder hit, so Buckner's definitely a lot worse. 0-1. Big hack and a miss. Now running down. Throw over to second is in time. Delayed steal from Gasparino. Second time he's been caught stealing today. And Levi Clark chases down another runner.
You saw Stripling point to Clark immediately once the out call was made. No one feels better about that than the Gateman third baseman. In the defense in the one-run game, so important. To eliminate the error, it's really big.
And now Carreras down 0-2. Takes a breaking ball upstairs. Clark was ready to go around the horn with that.
Yes, he was.
Count back to 1-2. And just going back to Caden McDonald, Cory.
Yes.
I mean, he's hitting, what, 450, 470 so far this summer? Carreras swings and misses.
Up over 470. That's really great to see because, as he talked about, there haven't been a lot of opportunities for him this past spring, recovering from surgery to appear as a hitter for Florida. And there's a reason you see so few two-way players at a high level. It's because of how difficult it is to do it at any level, but to do it at Florida in the top tier of college baseball, it's so tough. But it's also nice to see the Gators program and then the Gatemen on the same page in terms of developing both his arm and his bat. That's the plan, it seems like, moving forward.
His OPS over 1,000 so far this summer. And Gatemen pitching coach and his head coach in high school, Eric Luxus, raved about him, said he's one of the best players he's ever coached on both sides of the ball.
And so that's going to be the mission for Wareham this summer, and Caden McDonald is to get lots of reps on both sides of the ball to settle back in after surgery and be that two-way guy.
0-2, big hack and a miss. A.J. Soldra pinch hit for Jake Bold and goes down on 3 straight strikes to end the away half of the 8th. Gatemen come up to bat, still trailing by 1 here at Spillane Field. Don't miss the end of this one on Cape League TV.
Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company, founded in 1854, is North America's largest cranberry grower and recognized leader in environmentally responsible real estate development and land stewardship. For 171 years, AD Makepeace Company has supported community events and organizations like your Wareham Gatemen. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
For a good piece of glass, call Abby, located at 3 Tyler Ave in East Wareham. Call Abby Glass and Locks about getting a free quote for your windows, doors, locks, and other glass needs.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
180-1445. Again, that's ticket 180-1445.
Back at Spillane Field here for the home half of the 8th. Cory Miller, Josh Richardson joining it. Cory, your hair was fine.
I need to make sure.
No, it was good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
No, don't look in the monitor.
Sure,
don't look in the monitor. Trust yourself.
Yeah, you're right. It does
Look,
good.
everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything would be a lot better for
as
the
long
Gatemen
as you
here.
think so, Josh.
No, well, you know, everything would be a lot better here for the Gatemen if they can try and grab a comeback win. First pitch to Landon Stripling is a big fastball cut on and missed.
So we've seen the shift against Stripling his first 2 at-bats. A lot less exaggerated here with Carreras a little bit more up the middle than you typically see from a shortstop, but after he's gone the other way twice, not as much so.
0-1, flies that one into left field. That's drifting near the corner. Soldier gets in, and he can't make the grab. Stripling into second, a leadoff double in the 8th for the Gatemen.
How about Landon Stripling? Forget about the air in the top half of the inning because he's been great defensively tonight. He's now 3 for 3. He's gone the other way all 3 times tonight. We talked about the competitive infield at the start of this game for the Gatemen. Long run for Soldier right there. We talked about Shane and Gargett and the rotation the Gatemen have. You're going to have to start to add Landon Stripling into that mix. It's taken a few games for that bat to really get going, but he's 3 for 3 tonight. Lifted for a pinch runner here, but has really done his part to set the Gatemen up.
Yeah, no, Stripling out of the game. He was caught stealing back in the 3rd, and then he tested his luck after Braden Randall doubled in the 5th, and he was hawked down at home. So now replacing him on the base paths will be Vance Sheehan, another infielder at Ryan Smythe's disposal. And that brings up the top of the order. Corners are in on Braden Randall. His hit streak extended out now to 6 games after his double in the 5th.
Haven't seen him get a sac bunt down this summer, but probably expecting it here.
And this would be a great spot to do it. Shows it, hits it in the air, and he can't get it down. Quick reflexes from Garrett Wright. Moved over from right field, now behind the dish at catcher. And an unproductive first out in the 8th for Wareham.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the last thing you need or are looking for right there is to get underneath of that bunt and pop it right up.
That's the 2nd time that Randall has done that this season, Cory. I mean, just...
And listen, yeah, if that's coming from your cleanup hitter, it makes more sense, but Again, Randall has that ability, just getting underneath of it, and a tough out after the leadoff double.
Shift on here for Levi Clark. Carpentier well off the first base bag. Big hole down that line. Cheyenne on second. He's got some wheels as well, so wouldn't be the most surprising thing to have him be in motion. Daly stands on deck. Clark is 2 for 3 today. He has an RBI. He's been left stranded twice. Step off and now back over to second base. Cheyenne back in time.
Talked about doing the little things right. I know kind of that money ball mentality might tell you that bunts are outs, but bunts in close games can ultimately win those games. If the Gatemen don't get this run in here, that's going to be a big turning point.
1-0 to Clark. Misses inside.
If you're Clark right now, I think you look middle or middle away. Try and go the opposite way. If he tries to pound you inside to get the grounder to the left side, just turn on that ball down the line.
Cheyenne at second. 2-0 count. Clark fouls it off. Following Clark would be Daly, barring a double play. Caden McDonald could be up after that as well. Cheyenne on second. Schaefer on the mound. 2-1. Fastball outside corner.
That's a great spot for that fastball. If you're going to try and locate in the zone against Daly, you're going to try and keep it away from him. He was able to single off a fastball lower outside part of the plate his last at bat. Now he's going to have to protect here. Again, the mentality is the same. That opposite field approach, he's got plenty of room, even in the outfield down the line. Anything inside, you really got to get those hands in quickly.
1 run apiece back in the first. Red Sox scored in the top half, Wareham in the home. And then 2 runs for YD in the third, answered by 1 in the fourth for Wareham. Pitch misses downstairs. Clark called down on strikes.
Yeah, it looked like it was a bit down in the zone. Similar spot, this time a breaking ball. Obviously more break on it, sailing down. Ryan Smythe saying that that pitch was not a strike. A tough break for Daly. You're trying to protect, but obviously you have your mindset on the fact that that is just too low in the zone, not a strike.
I mean, I called that low. I mean, it certainly appeared low, but a called strikeout there. Ty Daly intentionally walked here to bring up Caden McDonald. Now, on the one hand, yeah, that makes sense. Ty Daly, second highest batting average on the team at .289. But he was 0 for 3 going into this. Now you're getting Caden McDonald, somebody with an OPS well over 1,000. Hitting pretty well this season, too. A chance with the runners moving. 2 on and 2 outs here in the 8th. First pitch, breaking ball over the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Yeah, Daly not a hit tonight, but I think the thought process is Caden McDonald just into this game, hasn't had an at-bat against live pitching yet today. So in a tough spot for your first AB to come through.
Fastball misses inside, 1-1. McDonald recorded the save against Brewster yesterday, 2-1 win over the Whitecaps. Pitched that 9th inning. Gave up just a hit. Cheyenne on second, tying run, 1-1. Fastball in the zone.
Might want that one back a little bit. Fastball inner part of the plate. Kept it down, but obviously a decent pitch to hit for McDonald behind in the count now.
His last game at the plate came against Orleans. It was a 7-5 win for the Firebirds. He was 0 for 2, but he had 2 walks. 1-2 here. Breaking ball misses outside.
And the discipline's still there, though. Attempting pitch to swing at outer part of the plate. Drawing even at 2-2. Still an opportunity for Schaefer to throw that breaking ball again here. Maybe started a little closer to the plate.
If McDonald can reach Richie on deck, 2-2, misses downstairs. Payoff coming up to Caden McDonald. Was a defensive substitution for Chris McHugh, exited the game. First plate appearance of the night. 3-2 from Schaefer. 2 on, 2 outs in the 8th. Runners go. Fastball misses inside. Caden McDonald works the full count over to first base for a walk. And the bases go loaded for Colin Ritchie. Cory, we talked about it earlier. If there was any time for his bat to heat up, it's right now.
What a spot for him. One swing and everyone forgets about the first 11 games of the summer. Richardson coming in to run for Daly at second base. Tough to lose a DH like Daly, but obviously if Ritchie comes through here, Richardson now represents the go-ahead run. With Daly DH, you don't have to make any reciprocal changes on the defensive end. But Ritchie in such a huge spot. He's obviously aware of just how big this would be late in the game, trailing by a run against the league's hottest team. But one swing of the bat erases the rest of the season.
And that really shows the trust that Ryan Smythe has in Colin Ritchie to deliver right here. That one gets by. Wright can't find it, and Sheehan scores the tying run. Wild pitch from Derek Schaefer. And just like that, this game is tied.
And so it's the situation itself, too. Obviously, Ritchie didn't even have to swing the bat there, but the fact that you have the bases loaded, no wiggle room in a one-run game, you start to grip that ball a little bit tighter. You try to be a little too perfect, and that's where mistakes can happen.
Looks like Ryan Smythe's going to talk to his guys here for a second. What a big missed opportunity from YD there. Derek Schaefer just delivered a pitch just out of Garrett Wright's reach. I mean, this is only his first inning playing catcher so far today. Out in right field for most of the day, so not used to that position at least so far tonight. Cruson on third, McDonald on second, both advanced after that. It'll be a 1-0 count to Colin Ritchie with first base open. And yeah, first base is open, but Hayden Yost is 2 for 3 today with 2 singles.
Yeah, so part of that conversation is probably telling Ritchie he might get something to hit here. We'll see what else that conversation consisted of. Obviously, with second and third, there's not really going to be a double steal here. But just probably going through the scouting report, the game plan again for Ritchie.
And no shift here either for YD. Have to hold the runners on third and second on. That's Cruson and McDonald respectfully. 1-0 count to Ritchie, 2 outs, 3-3 game. Schaefer deals a fastball over the middle for strike 1. Ritchie's 0 for 3 today, 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Had a 2 RBI double his last game against Orleans. 1-1, breaking ball outside.
And he's got to be really careful. You got to think Cruson's secondary league's going to be pretty big on third base. Not being held on, a wild pitch could possibly plate another.
Schaefer delivers. Fouled off into the nets.
Little bit behind on that pitch. Still got a good piece of contact on it. Even though he's got 2 strikes on him, Ritchie showed that he can really showcase the plate discipline with 2 strikes and take anything out of the zone.
YD is capitalized on 2-strike hitting all game. Can Ritchie do it here? 2-2, 2 on, 2 outs. Fastball got him looking right at the knees. Ritchie goes down, but Sheehan scores on the wild pitch, and we head into the 9th inning from Spillane Field in a tie game 3-3. Don't miss this dramatic finale between Wareham and YD on Cape League TV.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the second year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. Cory, it's 3-3 here at Spillane Field between the Red Sox and the Gatemen. But let's take a look about some other scores around the league, because it's been a good day over in Cape Cod. Katuitt wins a 6-4 game over Bourne, third win of the season for the Kettleers. Orleans, another win, 4-3 over the Mariners. Hyannis in the top of the 8th, they're in a delay against Falmouth, up 5-4. Chatham with a narrow lead over Brewster. Whitecaps really starting to reel here at about this quarter of the way point of the season.
Yeah, the Anglers bottom part of that East Division, trying to come away with a victory. Harborhawks continue their groove. We talked a lot about the Red Sox, but Harborhawks have been doing it themselves in the West Division. And obviously the Gatemen playing away at Orleans tomorrow.
Butler's first pitch misses outside, ball 1.
Really have to admire the work that Josh Butler has done out of the bullpen. Already 4 innings of work has allowed his team to come back and tie this game.
Chopper over to second. An easy play for Colby Turner to get the first out of this inning.
And we talked a lot, placed a lot of emphasis on the starting pitching because of how good they were coming into this game, and especially Hamilton held up, went to 5 innings. But at the same time, it may not have been the classic pitcher's duel, but it's still been a low-scoring game. So at that point, you figured since the bullpen would come in after the 5th inning at the latest, the bullpen that can hold the edge and can maintain the tie is now obviously going to be the team that wins this game.
Jack Bell stepping up into the box. That was Will Baker pinch hitting for Dean Carpentier. As now Bell tries to score up a drag bunt down the third baseline. He can't. Count 1-1.
Now batting the third baseman, number 9, Jack Bell from Texas Christian University.
8-9-1 in the Red Sox order. Baker, Bell, and Dowd. Dowd, the leadoff man, stands on deck. It'll be his 5th plate appearance of the game. 1-1. Breaking ball, misses upstairs.
And for Butler now to pitch a scoreless frame, the advantage of the home team to be able to just win it with 1 run in the bottom half of the inning after a scoreless frame would be really huge.
2-1, misses upstairs. He's certainly been eating some innings, but the pitch count only at 45. For reference, Brady Hamilton went 5 innings, had a 61 pitches. Chase Richter had 50 through just 2 1/3. Faulkner 27 through 1 2/3. Such a needed stand here from the Gatemen for Butler. 3-2, misses way outside.
An uncharacteristic miss there for Butler. Ideally, we'll get you these last 2 outs. The pitch count is down, as you mentioned, considering how long he's gone into this game. We'll see how fatigue factors in. This is where you have to bear down. The lineup turns over with a runner on at base now here in the 9th inning. No margin for error. And this is a really dangerous part of this YD team.
Dangerous spot indeed. Dowd already with a hit today. Miller with a pair of them. A couple of stolen bases between those two guys. 4 total. They won't just beat you at the plate. They get on base, they move over, they score. Runner on first. 0-1 to Dowd. In the air, shallow left field. It's Kane. And he makes the grab. 2 outs here in the 9th. Bell on first. Brings up Cody Miller, the second baseman, with a double and a single and 2 flyouts to right field.
Yeah, it's a huge out to get Dowd, keep him off the base pass. More importantly, keep that runner and Bell on at first. More difficult to score on a base hit, but Butler's done a nice job against Miller. The fly ball's the past 2 at-bats, so he can locate well. He's got the fastball, breaking ball. Can get an out here.
Butler delivers. Chopper over to third. Sheehan, came in defensively to replace. It was off his glove. And Miller reaches safely on the error.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 10, Chris Hakopian.
Talked about earlier the difficulties of having to make a split-second decision when you're at third on those short ground balls. That one wasn't hit as hard as the one that went through the legs of Stripling. But again, that's a situation where as a third baseman, you're making a decision on how you want to play the short hop. Are you going to wait back or come and get it? Looked like Shane was maybe a little bit in between. Tough to field, and now in a tough spot with the go-ahead run on at second.
Yeah, it looked like it hit right off of his wrist, Cory. Just tried to field it with his glove facing down towards the grass. Now Luxus comes out to talk to Butler. Discuss strategy. Chris Hakopian now up to bat. He's 0 for 2, a sac fly and a walk as well. 2 on and 2 out here in the 9th. Butler nearing the 5-inning mark. Just the 3rd pitcher used by Wareham today, 2nd out of the bullpen. He'll stay in the game.
Yeah, and it's just tough because he made a great pitch to Miller. Inner part of the plate, should have gotten out of the inning. It was a tough play for Shane, but now you're going to have to do it all over again with the pressure of the situation ratcheting up.
Hakopian has been in big spots before. When YD played Brewster earlier this year, had a 3-run home run, scored the only 3 runs of the game. The Red Sox went in to win 3-zip. First pitch misses downstairs, ball 1. Wareham's 2nd in the West Division. YD first in the East on a 7-game win streak. (1-0). Fastball in the dirt.
Really nice stop by Levi. Fastball pitch, obviously easier to catch than a breaking ball, but when it's low like that and skips in, tough to read with that velocity from Butler. Couple of fastballs that he's just missed down. Now 2-0, not ideal to load the bases with nowhere to put right. Might come after Hakopian here.
Pitch to him. This is outside. 3-0 count on Hakopian. Bell on second, Miller on first. Speed options for YD. With 2 outs and going, a base hit from Hakopian could score the go-ahead. Butler delivers his 3-0, and it hits him in the back. Hakopian drilled that loads the bases, but behind in the count, Cory, it's ball 4 anyway.
Yeah, it's essentially the same result. I think on 3-0, you're just trying to make that perfect pitch because you know Hakopian probably has the green light. And so if you miss location, he could easily drive a runner in. I think the danger of this situation right now, obviously you have a runner 90 feet away, but the biggest part about that that's potentially concerning, Butler's been great with his location, aside for that last pitch and the pitch to walk Bell. Even with the decreased distance between home plate and the backstop, we have still seen pass balls, wild pitches, plate runs. That's what you have to avoid here.
Clark's going to have to have a quick reaction time if anything gets by him. Caden Campbell, the lefty, warming up in the bullpen for Wareham. The issue, just so many righties in this lineup. And that one hits Garrett right. Bell comes in to score, and back-to-back pitches, back-to-back hit batters for Josh Butler. and YD heads back up by 1 with 2 outs here in the 9th.
And this is just a tough break for the Gatemen because, again, Shayan makes that play, you're out of the inning. So the unearned runs right now, and as a pitcher, you're just faced with a challenge because even though Butler's been so great through the innings that he's worked, there's no margin for error, so you try and be so perfect with where you're locating, and any little mistake, it's going to bring in a run.
Bases remain loaded for Gasparino. Moved over into right field defensively. First pitch. Fastball misses downstairs, and that control really starting to get away from Butler at this point.
Especially with the fastball. If he can't work off of that, it's going to be a problem. At a certain point, you'd maybe love to see him if he gets behind in the count to throw a really good breaking ball, but you wonder how much confidence he has in that pitch either.
1-0. Fastball misses downstairs.
Obviously, you're going to want to keep the ball down with runners on base, and we've seen some strike calls go against the Gatemen, bottom part of the zone, but you're going to have to bring it up a little bit closer to the strike zone to get some of those calls consistently.
Gasparino 2 for 2. Walking a hit by pitch. Lines one over to short and through. Miller scores. Hakopian scores. And YD has broken it open in the top of the 9th. 6-3 Red Sox lead. 2 RBI single from Will Garspino.
And this is what they did last time these two teams played. They already had the lead in that one. This time it's tied, but the ability here to not play just 1, but 2 runs in addition to the 1 they already scored. So now 3 in the inning to not just retake the lead, but add on some insurance might ultimately be the difference maker.
And that's going to be it for Josh Butler. Luxus takes it out of his hand, and he'll be done with a big ovation from the Gatemen faithful as Caden Campbell enters this one to try and stop the bleeding. While he warms up, we'll take a break on Cape League TV. Red Sox open up a 3-run lead here in the 9th.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
As the sponsor of tonight's game, PCT Federal Credit Union is proud to root for the home team. We're thrilled to offer great rates on auto loans, home equity lines of credit, and so much more. Visit us on Cranberry Highway in West Wareham.
Reed Custom Soils, a subsidiary of the AD Makepeace Company, is New England's most experienced precision soil blender. Reed is the leading provider of the lightweight planting soil for green roof installations, stabilized stone dust for nature paths and pedestrian walkways, bioretention rain garden soils, and specialized soils for athletic fields, including your newly renovated Spillane Field. To learn more, visit reedcustomsoils.com.
YD has broken it open here in the 9th. 6-3 lead for the Red Sox. All of those runs coming unearned. An error by Van Shayan moved guys over. Would have ended the inning on the fielding error. Now Caden Campbell just trying to prevent any more runs coming on the board for the Red Sox.
Yeah, walk / hit by pitches, and then errors always seem to find a way to come back and haunt you. But the error by Stripling in the 8th, Wareham was able to work around that with the caught stealing. Butler then pitched out of it. But there's not many games that are really close, in this case that are tied, where they're going to get away with an error to put a runner on at base. And again, the team that does the little things, especially the defense late in games and close games, is going to end up winning this game in a tough break for Wareham.
Carreras, the switch hitter. He has 2 on and 2 outs. First pitch to Campbell is a fastball on the outside corner. Shayan came in originally to pinch run for Stripling. He ended up scoring that tying run in the 8th on a wild pitch. Made it 3-3. Just difficulty defensively. 0-1. Fouled off into the night.
Yeah, and again, it was not an easy play, especially for your first play of the game, just into the contest, but it's still a play that Van Shane will tell you he expects himself to make.
And probably 9 times out of 10, Cory, he does make it. Oh, 2 swung on and missed. One batter, one strikeout for Caden Campbell. But this game got a whole lot tougher for the Gatemen to come away with a win. Down by 3 heading into the bottom of the 9th. 6-3 lead for the Red Sox. 3 outs to go from Spillane Field.
Turf Specialties has set the standard for high-quality natural grass athletic field construction. As a full-service athletic field construction company, we specialize in design, build, and renovation of native soil, modified soil, and sand-based athletic fields. Our team will provide you with superior quality, expert guidance, and continuing support long after the completion of our project. We are proud to have built the infield for the Wareham Gatemen Field. Go Gatemen.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player. You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Three-run 9th for YD. Breaks open a 6-3 lead for the Red Sox. Closing time for the Gatemen. It comes down to 6, 7, 8 in the order. Yost, Turner, and Kane.
Base runners, base runners, base runners. That's what it's going to be, especially for the first 2 guys in Yost and Turner. None of these runs matter unless you can bring up Kane or whoever else with the tying run up at the plate. Again, that was the impact of the Red Sox, not just scoring the go-ahead run, but 2 more after it to make this a 3-run game. Yost has been on base twice tonight. You have to start here. Walk, base hit, doesn't matter. Get base runners on to try and come back and tie this
If
game.
anyone were to reach, Van Shane would come up as the 4th hitter in the order. Bottom of the lineup, essentially, for the Gatemen. First pitch. This is outside.
And the value of base runners, in addition to the fact you need them, we saw it with Butler, put the pitcher in a difficult spot, an uncomfortable spot with runners on. Everything ratchets up, including the pressure.
Schaefer's 4th inning of action. Gets the strike there, count even 1-1. His pitch count now up to 44. So he's getting up there, nearing that area that Butler was at entering that inning. 1-1. Cut on and missed.
And it's something to be aware of, monitoring his location at bat to at bat. He's been around the plate so far. You have to really battle them. Don't make anything easy for him.
1-2. Fouled off into the netting.
How about this fog rolling in,
Yeah,
too?
definitely something to note. If Yost, Turner, or Kane can, put anything into the air, it could be a little bit difficult to try and read it for any of these Red Sox outfielders. Also having to fight some of the lights stationed around the ballpark. Soldier in left, Dowd in center, and Gasparino in right. 1-2 count to Yost. Pitch misses in the dirt.
Yeah, so this is what you need to do, especially if you get to 2 strikes. Grind these at bats. You saw the foul ball by Yost, able to spit on a breaking ball down in the zone. Continue to fight in the batter's box.
2-2. Schaefer deals. Cut on and missed. Fastball on the outside corner gets Yost down for the first out of this 9th. 2 outs remaining for the Gatemen.
At a certain point, if a pitcher makes a pitch like that, you tip your cap. Located perfectly, outer stripe at the plate. Yost in protect mode, had to swing at it, located perfectly. And a big out, number 1.
Colby Turner's 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a strikeout. One of those two, a double play. He's a bat that's come up clutch for the Gatemen. Pretty good amount so far this season. Go ahead single against Katuitt. Gatemen ended up losing that one in extras. Skips in front of home plate, 2-0.
And if you're Turner, not a huge shift, but there's definitely one applied. What the Whitey pitchers have tried to do against righties they've shifted is pound them inside to try and force a rollover into the shift. So if you get a pitch on the inner part, you really got to be ready and turn on it.
2-0 to Turner, misses inside.
Probably in take mode right now. Again, you need the base runners. Make Schaefer locate over the plate.
Schaefer threw 3 1/3, 2 hits and a run, 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. 3-0 misses downstairs. Wright can't catch it either way. Ball 4, and Turner heads over to first base safely.
That's what you need.
That's
Turner,
one at least.
That's one, and Turner didn't really get anything good to hit in that at-bat. Plate discipline was there, not trying to expand the zone, not chasing, trying to be the hero. And now in his first game as a Gateman, Andrew Kane's in a big spot.
Kane 0 for 3, 3 flyouts, 2 to center, 1 to left. He's been getting good contact on it. Shift is on for him. Breaking ball first pitch over the heart of the plate.
So we've seen a couple Gatemen throughout the whole season. They wait till the first pitch is thrown, then try and square to bunt. Against the shifted infield, we'll see if Kane's still swinging away.
But the bunt doesn't do a whole lot at this point. Still got to get more runners on. Don't want to sacrifice that second out. Fouled off into the nets.
Yeah, it is the issue because it potentially, if you do not get it down about 50% down the third baseline, chances are it could be an out. Again, effective if it's located well against the shift. And now with two quick strikes, Kane is going to have to battle once again.
A couple guys have already gone against the shift today for hits for Wareham. Kane, 0-2, skips in the dirt. Good block from Wright, keeps it in front of him. And Turner remains at first.
We'll see how Schaefer's able to locate these 2-strike pitches. That one just too low, not really competitive enough to draw a swing from Andrew Kane.
1-2 count to Kane. Had 21 extra base hits this past season at Arizona and 22 RBIs. 1-2. Lined into center. Drifting back is Dowd, and he squares it up to make the grab. Good contact from Kane in all 4 at-bats, but came up empty. 3 flyouts to center and 1 flyout to left.
Shortened up approach right there, not going to generate quite as much power. On Tuesday at Red Wilson Field, no conditions, that ball might have been a problem. But here tonight, fog rolling in, approaching 9 o'clock, temperatures are down, just not quite enough on it.
71 degrees at 8:45 p.m. Saturday, June 28th. YD up 6-3 here in the 9th. Wareham down to their last out, and Turner steals second. That runner obviously does not matter, but eliminates a force out other than the one to first base. Cheyenne up, first at bat of the game. Lines one over to first. It's off the glove of Carpentier. Turner holds up at third, and that swings it over to the top of the order. Braden Randall represents the tying run in this one. 2 outs here in the 9th. Runners on the corners for the Gatemen. There is a pulse.
A great at-bat by Shane. Big swing at that first pitch, but realizing there, the last thing Schaefer's going to want to do is get to Randall as the tying run. But at the same time, Shane realized that's why he's going to attack him. Got a pitch to hit. Beautiful job to go the other way. Hard hit. And as you said, there's a pulse.
Randall today is 1 for 3 with a walk. He had a double back in the 5th. One of Wareham's hottest hitters. 6-game hit streak. Batting average over 300. Entered today is the only one on the team with that mark. And he has a chance to tie or bring Wareham within 3.
Leads this team with 6 RBIs entering play, so he's been really effective with guys on base. Maybe not going to see a 3-run jack here to tie the game, but he's been so great this season, especially with 2 strikes shortening up. He can go foul line to foul line with his approach. And so his mindset has to be, at the very least, get on base. Hopefully drive a run in, but if not, get on base, bring up Levi Clark.
Well, YD is going to go with a fresh arm here. Schaefer's night is done. He leaves 2 men on. 9th inning, runners on the corners for Wareham. It's a 6-3 lead for the Red Sox, with Randall representing the tying run at the dish while the new arm warms up for the Red Sox. We'll take a break here on Cape League TV.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A+ repairs smartphones, tablets, game consoles, and computers. Get it done right the first time.
Cape Cod Central Railroad is proud to sponsor the Wareham Gatemen for the 2nd year in a row. Experience the scenic beauty of Cape Cod like never before. Journey through picturesque marshes, cranberry bogs, and dunes on our historic rail line. Whether you're savoring a 5-course gourmet dinner, enjoying a Sunday brunch with a live jazz band, or bringing the family on a narrated excursion, there's a ride for everyone. Departing from Hyannis and Buzzards Bay, visit capetrain.com to book your ride today.
Legacy Insurance has been servicing Wareham and the surrounding areas since 1980. Call Legacy Insurance for all your insurance needs at 508-295-1315. Legacy Insurance, your hometown agency.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When it comes to protecting your home, car, or business, trust the team that's been covering our community for generations. For personalized coverage and service that you can count on, the choice is easy. It's Morse, of course. Visit morseins.com today.
Derek Schaefer exits. Dominic Desch enters. Righty on the mound for YD. Top of the order with 2 outs here for the Gatemen. Braden Randall steps in with runners on the corners. Turner on third. Cheyenne on first. Levi Clark on deck. Cory, it'll be tough here for Braden Randall to tie this game. Not a whole lot of pop out of him. But if he can just get on and keep the train moving, Levi Clark would have a big shot. First pitch from Desch, runner goes, and they'll concede that. It's Cheyenne over to second.
Yeah, 3 combined collegiate home runs for Randall at Ole Miss the past 2 seasons. But getting on base, keeping the line moving is something he is so skilled at.
Second and third. But, of course, the run that matters is at the plate in Randall. 1-0. Lined into left field. Soldra over, and he makes the grab. It hung up in the Wareham night, and that ends the potential rally for the Gatemen. YD steals one 6-3 with a 3 spot in the top of the 9th to move to 9-2-1 on the season and extend the winning streak to 8 games.
Another impressive win for the Red Sox, the way they were able to fight back after the Gatemen tied this game. If you're Wareham, obviously there's going to be some frustration having lost this game. The unearned runs coming across the score in the top of the 9th after the error by Cheyenne. I do think, looking for a silver lining, you could see the character of the team, the way they fought back in the bottom of the 9th. Down by 3 would have been easy to give in, go down quietly. A walk, a base hit by Cheyenne, and right there, Randall squared that ball up, placed it perfectly, just, a couple of feet, and that gets to the wall, plates 2 runs, and all of a sudden the tying runs on its second.
And you have to think, Cory, A.J. Soldra in defensively as a replacement in left field. And, back in the 8th inning, Landon Stripling, just an inning prior, had that double into left field that was slicing down the line, and Soldra was positioned more towards left center than he was actually down that line. And it got by him over his glove, and Stripling had a leadoff double in that 8th. That's a spot where Soldra very well could have adjusted in that spot and moved over just a hair. And if he's positioned maybe where he was back in the 8th inning there in the 9th, we could have that spot that you were just talking about, down by 1 with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, the defense, as we've talked about, so important in close games, and those little adjustments in terms of the alignment also important, because we've seen the Gatemen proved today that those lefty bats could go the other way. And then the Red Sox made some of those adjustments, both in terms of the infield position and the outfield, kind of played it much more straight up. And as you said, might have been the difference in this inning continuing.
Wareham drops to 5-7 on the season so far, 12 of 40 games in. And the Gatemen are back in action tomorrow at Orleans for a rematch against the Firebirds, second game of the season between Orleans and Wareham. First one ended in a 7-5 Firebirds win, coming back from 5 runs down.
Yeah, so listen, if you're Wareham, it's a really tough game to lose, especially since, again, you came back, you thought you were right in it against the top team in the Cape League so far. But as Ryan Smythe has talked about, after wins and after losses, it's the next game mentality. A game against Orleans, I think they can get some revenge. They were up 5-0 early. They came all the way back, 7 unanswered runs for the Firebirds, won that game. A chance for the Gatemen to flush it. You lose to the top team in the Cape League. But again, you're still hanging around. And again, you played a great baseball game. A couple of mistakes. Hitting was there. Pitching was there. Just carry it over to tomorrow.
First pitch from Eldridge Park, 6:30. You can listen to Cory and I on Cape League TV and on YouTube. But that wraps up all of our coverage for tonight. For Cory Miller, our sideline reporter, Rayna Maggelet, our producers, Chuck Luarasi and Abby Smith, I'm Josh Richardson. Gatemen fall 6-3 thanks to 3 runs from YD in the top half of the 9th.